All right. Welcome back to Meet Us After 7 podcast. This is episode 245. Gina, would you like to intro?
Hi guys, it's just Gina here with Big Man Yusuff and Brent and Emily, and this is Meet Us After 7.
I don't know how you do that all the time. Like you keep the enthusiasm.
Sometimes, no. Sometimes people are like, no, Gina, do that again.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
And we have the hot wifer
I swear you.
in
The pegging
building.
queen.
Pegging queen. It feels like you've been on before, but you actually haven't.
It's the Free Shots episode, isn't it?
No, I have been on. We did a
Yeah,
Zoom episode.
you've been on via Zoom, but you haven't
Yeah.
actually been on in person
No,
in the
no,
studio.
I
And obviously you were with us on the Free Shots
So
episode.
what's a pleasure.
Yeah, so finally you have your... I actually wanted you and Jason to be together, but...
I kind of thought Jason would be here actually.
Yeah, I was going to ask him, but it slipped my mind and then I just never...
Oh, Yusuff.
No, but I thought you might want your own spotlight as well.
Ah.
So it is what it is. Don't worry.
Okay.
Shout out Jace. We can get you back with Jason another time anyway.
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. So what was you saying about Michael Phelps?
So,
Because I'm trying to figure out where the black privilege is.
no, so they were basically saying, so the comparison is, you've got Richardson, tested positive for marijuana,
Yeah.
smoked while competing, suspended for 1 month, media and celebrities call for her reinstatement.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps, tested negative for marijuana, smoked whilst not competing, suspended for 3 months, lost endorsements and financial support.
Okay.
Then it says there seems to be an obvious double standard when it comes to Sha'Carri and her suspension for the USA Olympic team. Sha'Carri knew the rules and chose not to follow them. Although marijuana is illegal in her state, it doesn't matter. If the Olympic rules say marijuana is not allowed, then it's not allowed, period. Why are media outlets and celebrities praising someone who broke the rules? If you believe that marijuana should be legal everywhere, that's cool. But it still doesn't mean everyone should be allowed to be high at their jobs. Alcohol is legal, but try going to work with alcohol on your breath. Unfortunately, we have a culture that allows the admiration of those who choose to break rules. This doesn't lead to a productive society.
Who is this person?
Sha'Carri Richardson, Michael Phelps, Olympics Team USA, is the good white privilege, black privilege. This is a person called the right-winged angel.
Oh, okay. Is right wing whatever? It's
I
doing
don't-
what it says on the tin.
I don't think that's... I think that's more so male and female.
Do you?
Yeah, I think there's more sympathy towards... Sorry, I want to keep saying her name wrong. What is it again?
I have no idea. She's something.
Do you know how you pronounce her name?
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri. Because she's a woman. That's what I think. I don't think it's a black and white thing. I think it's a woman and man thing. Male and female.
So people are being gentle on her because she's female.
I think so. If we're trying to figure out why,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because she's a female, not because she's black.
Could it just be the times have changed, kind of, and marijuana is becoming
Yeah,
more
no,
mainstream?
you're right. Times have changed. Marijuana is much more mainstream now. It is legal in a lot of states in America. People have made pop-up businesses out of it.
Yeah.
It's not as taboo anymore. So people don't. The seriousness of marijuana is not what it used to be in it. So it's like it's just weed in it. Like, but obviously in sports,
Yeah.
marijuana is still a banned substance.
Substance, yeah.
But in our everyday life, marijuana is just minor, innit? I think that's why. How long ago was the Michael Phelps story? Like how many years ago?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, I thought you might tell me.
I don't know, but I think people are those. Obviously, a lot of black people are for her running, and they're just like, it's weed. Weed doesn't affect your ability to. It's not like it's a performance enhancing drug. So, and obviously she lost her mom. So obviously there's context, right? So people are just like, let her run. Like, if it was like a performance enhancing drug, then obviously fair enough. But
Yeah, of
it's
course,
not.
Yeah.
So they're trying to obviously find rules to let it slide.
Yeah.
I guess some people who are more upset are those that are like, well, Michael Phelps lost endorsements and stuff. Obviously, she's a Nike athlete. Nike have come out and said they're still supporting her,
Yeah.
like regardless. So I don't know if it's a black and white thing. I didn't say it was a black and white thing. I'm just showing what's
been said.
What's been said. Yeah. So some people are like, well, it's not fair. Like, you don't want them to. Everyone who's even trying to compare, you don't want them to have the same energy they did with Michael Phelps for her, because apparently, I guess his was worse, and his wasn't even during like the season of competing. I think it was like an off-season period or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah,
It says here that it's legal to recreationally smoke weed in 19 plus states, including the one where Richardson tested positive.
yeah.
While the NFL, NBA, and MLB have softened their stance, But we're still going to stop an Olympian from competing due to a non-performance enhancing drug. Makes no sense. So the NBA, NFL, and MLB
I'm fine with it.
I would say they're fine with it, but I think it's not really taken that seriously. They're
Should
softening
be
their stance, basically.
off-season, because I think, like you said, if you're a sports person,
Yeah.
your the expectation is that you're competing purely. There is no enhancement. There is nothing else really to change or alter or affect your performance. So you should be clean.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, whether or not it's recreationally or not. You shouldn't be doing it while you're performing or while you're about to perform.
Yeah, no.
That would be my argument, I think.
On her behalf, it was, I don't want to use the word stupid, but it wasn't the right
It was
thing.
reckless.
It was reckless.
Mm.
She said
I agree.
she lost her mother recently and she was using it
Coping mechanism.
as a coping mechanism. So I get that, but still, you know that this substance is banned.
Mm.
So you shouldn't have smoked it. Period.
Yeah. I agree.
We get the reasons why she smoked it. Dealing with the loss of her mother, I understand that. But even so, like the Olympics are, that's not like
Olympics
one
are
little.
the Olympics, yeah.
That's not one little track meet
Sorry.
down the road.
know, but
That's
do you
the
know
Olympics.
what? In the same breath, though, I hear what you're saying, but that's the death of someone's mum. I feel like when it comes to grief,
We
Yeah,
can't
no, I
tell
get
her
it.
how to
everything
grieve.
goes out the window.
Yeah, of course,
People
of
deal
course.
with things differently. So
Yeah.
it could be the Olympics, it could be freaking
Sports
Your-
day at school.
your inauguration, whatever it is. It could
Yeah.
be whatever. When it
Yeah.
comes to grief, I don't think
You can tell.
you can
people what to
like
do.
and I think in that moment you're gonna deal with whatever it is you're dealing with, however you feel possible. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's grief and it's your mother. So
Yeah, you're right. But then you're smoking, knowing that this is going to come back to bite me.
But
then.
you know.
yeah, but that's
Like,
the thing. But,
you ain't smoking it,
but-
rocking up to the test and like oblivious, like I'm fine.
but
No,
that's why
you
she
know
said
what's
she's human.
gonna
Like she
happen.
didn't lie.
It
She
wasn't
didn't
rational what she
she
did.
didn't
Mm.
she didn't try and like make excuses. She was just like, I'm human. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah.
So you were saying that she can still compete now.
I'm annoyed now because I can't find where I saw
I saw
it.
it somewhere as well, but
If you-
Unless it's been
If you
deleted.
type in her name into Google, it might be
she's
the first
she's
article that comes
accepted
up.
a suspension until some point late July.
In July, yeah. So she accepted
and
the
then she'll
extension.
carry on or whatever
Let
from
me
that
just,
point.
I'm just going to type her
How do you
name
spell
into
her
Google.
name?
Sha'Carri, S-H-A
But then there's-
apostrophe
Yeah, apostrophe. Yeah.
C-A-R-R-I.
Oh, she's only 21.
She's
Yeah,
a
she's
baby.
young.
Yeah.
Okay. So she ran her 100 meters kind of the same time as me, really. 10.86
Same time as
seconds.
you.
No, she is fierce. Like I was watching,
No, I'm
funny
playing. I
enough,
don't mind
last
that.
week, I was actually watching her race. And she had like a green wig. You know how she's very
She's
like,
fabulous,
she's
isn't
just
she?
very like ghetto fab.
Yeah.
She's black. She's just not what obviously most of the athletes look like. So
Okay, let me read.
she had like an interview, and even the way she
Okay.
corrected the guy from saying her name was so funny. She was like, by the way, it's Sha'Carri, like with her long nails, and she's just, I love her. I'm like, yes, sis.
This explains it. This is something I took a screenshot of this actually. So the 21-year-old who qualified for the 2020 Olympics after running 100-meter race in 10.86 seconds last month had been suspended for 30 days following a drug test that came positive back for THC, a chemical found in marijuana. Richardson accepted her suspension that ends July 27th, which would be in time to run the women's relays.
So she's gonna make it.
Yeah, but USA Track and Field have not disclosed plans according to Associated Press. So I don't know if the 100 meters or whatever else
It's
she's
before
running
or
is
after.
before or after. But she comes back July
It would be a
27th.
shame if she missed them because she's spectacular, isn't she?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know who she is. This is the first time I've ever heard
Really?
No, I've been seeing.
No,
that.
she's like the new one to watch, like because she's so young.
of. Funny enough, I was talking
colourful.
to Jason the other day actually about like the Olympics starting. I was like, right, like when it comes to like sprinting, who are the new like up and coming sprinters? Because I have no idea. Like since Usain
I
Bolt
don't
and
think
them
I've
man
ever known apart
dipped
from
out.
Bolt.
I don't know who runs sprinting right now. Does anyone know? You're Caribbean. I know sprinting is
Friends, who do you know?
a part of your culture.
No. When was the last time we had an Olympics?
There's that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's the whole recency bias.
Was
I
it
mean,
2016?
No, the Olympics is every 4 years now.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like
think you
wasn't it
have
meant to be
different-
last year? And we didn't have it because of
That's-
COVID.
Yeah,
you
so
have
it-
So it's
different types of
2016.
Olympics.
of what?
Different types of Olympics. Like sometimes you have it in Japan and then you have the world one.
Different types. No, you've got 3. Winter.
So you'd have different types then.
Yeah, but no one's talking about.
Look at
No
him.
one's talking about the
So
Winter Olympics.
cheeky.
Okay. I know that they race.
No, but saying we've got
well.
different types of Olympics, and like the Winter Olympics is a complete different kettle of fish.
No, but she's saying every 4 years. I'm saying it happens more frequently than that.
Yeah, but we're talking about
The main event.
You know what we're talking about, Brent.
When we say
Olympics,
4 years, it's
not
the main
the-
event.
not
It's
the
like the
Winter
World Cup,
Olympics.
And then
Some
Fight,
people
Brent,
say
fight.
we can't believe Jamaica, we got a bobsled team.
Oh,
Like, we ain't talking about that. I mean, the Wanderers and the One Junior. We're not talking about that, bro. Oh my God.
Everybody's favorite movie.
the fastest of the fastest, the Jamaica's winter.
How many times have you watched that
I said-
movie?
Listen,
That's my mother's name.
Tallulah.
Tallulah. That's my mother's name.
These
I see
two.
pride.
I see power. I see a bad
badass mother. You don't take
take
crap from nobody.
nobody.
I think I've only watched it once, you know.
I've seen it a couple times.
But you remember
Actually,
everything.
to be fair, more than a couple times. It's
Yeah,
one, it's,
you must have watched it more than a couple
Cool
of
Runnings
times.
is one of the childhood faves,
Feel
man.
the rhythm.
Feel
Feel
the
the
rhythm.
rhyme. Come on, like.
It's bobsled time. Cool Runnings.
Runnings.
Okay, I think my brother and my sister might be the same with you guys when it comes to that. I'm
Yeah.
It was
Probably
always,
too
it was
old
always
for
on
it.
On
TV.
TV.
Like always on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was Coming to America. I think I know every single word.
Yeah,
of
I'm the
Coming
same.
to
Yeah, no.
America.
Come to America, I intentionally watched that millions of times.
Yeah.
But Cool Runnings was just, you just pop the TV on, it's just
It was
there.
on.
And it's there.
Yeah.
It was the woke movie of the time.
I would say
Potentially.
woke.
Well, not woke, but available culturally.
Yeah.
A black
And it was based on a
movie
true
for
story.
everybody to. Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Brent, I know you're Caribbean.
Brent.
Tell us,
Represent the region.
Del-
give us
Give
your,
us the
your
facts.
first-hand account of the first Jamaican bobsled team. I know in Trinidad, it must have been crazy. Or was a bit of jealousy there, a bit of rivalry? Because you guys have had your team? Or?
He remained silent.
I only know Sanka, you're dead. To be honest.
Sanka, you there?
Sanka, you
Yeah,
dead?
man.
Yeah, man.
And his lucky egg.
Wait, so you haven't really watched it like that?
I have
Oh, you know
not repeatedly like they have watched
the
it.
script, the lines.
I just
too?
watched it once. Yeah,
Yeah, because
Wasn't that memorable?
He's jealous, isn't it? Because it's obviously
he?
Jamaica.
100%.
Hold on, no, this is a serious question. Forget all the banner. Is there a rivalry between, you know, the same way Ghana and Nigerians have this
Yeah.
little crazy whatever banner
Yeah,
or beef? Do you have anything with any other Caribbean island?
no,
No, this is
No.
all peace
I
and
don't
love.
believe you. There must be something.
no.
None whatsoever.
I think it's
peace and
Jamaicans
love.
versus people from Barbados. I think that's where the rivalry is. Yeah.
Oh.
I just think it's Jamaicans. Like, I think Jamaicans are
World boss.
like
When anybody says the Caribbean, they just think
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Exactly. So I feel
How
like
do you
That's
feel
why-
about
that's
that?
why you're
How
jealous.
do you feel about that?
Or you
No.
have some like
No.
ill will towards
no,
Jamaican?
No. It's I guess if it's anything,
Could there be love?
yeah, cool. If it's
Could there
anything,
be love?
it's that people need to keep correcting people. I'm not Jamaican. Just because you hear a
twang.
twang.
everyone thinks it's
Man
Yeah,
said,
you need
I'm
to adjust
Trini.
that it's annoying me.
Sorry.
Just no, adjust
No.
it.
Just keep it to
Bend
your
it to you.
mouth.
It's too close. I feel nervous about it, Brent.
Okay,
I'm
cool,
sorry.
cool.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
here now.
So it's nothing with us because we have oil,
Oh, do you?
we have cane, sugar cane. Do you understand? So our exports are mad. They're
And-
rich.
Oh, so you're saying
Are you
Jamaicans?
rich
Oh,
like
you're
that?
saying Jamaicans ain't got shit?
They've got
They have
Bob
sugar
Marley
as well. I.
An Elephant Man.
and
Oh,
Big
and-
Up.
and Sean Paul and Vibes
Vibes.
Cartel
They have
and
music galore.
Popcorn and
And that's
Spice, Dexter Daps.
Yeah,
Bring it to the
culture
Alkaline.
is amazing.
bring it to the
They've
owner.
had
legacy,
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
amazing.
You can't deny that.
Their cultural legacy is absolutely amazing.
Oh no, you guys have got
Amazing.
Wayne Wonder. Is it Wayne Wonder? No, Kevin
not-
Little.
No,
No, because there was in the video. There's a big Trini flag behind him.
cool. Our main musical export over the decades is a guy called, why is his name?
I think
Montana.
French.
Marshall
Aha.
Montana. And he was like a child prodigy like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
From young. He's dope, talented.
Okay.
And all he's still making music now.
Okay.
Marshall Montana.
Yeah. Absolutely dope.
Doesn't ring
just-
a bell.
Just him.
the biggest.
Culturally, that's it.
But
He's
if
the
you're talking
biggest.
about Calypso,
Yeah.
then that
So
nobody could touch us.
I
on
thought you were
Calypso.
going to say Harry Belafonte, but is Belafonte from Trinidad? No.
Trinidad?
But the music, some of his music is calypso, isn't it?
Oh, don't just
Calypso.
that. I don't think he's Trinidadian. Let me check.
Is Calypso put in the same box as like soca?
It's the original form.
Yeah.
Then soca basically got influenced and then it changed, and
okay,
that's the
okay.
modern form of calypso. But calypso is more so political commentary
Yeah.
Is it?
just infused with a whole sort of comedy and protest. It's fascinating. And obviously Steel Pan was the main thing, innit? And obviously, as you know, Trinidad is famous for carnival.
Yeah.
No island touches us when it comes to anything to do with that. Yeah, that's why we will live
Trinity
forever,
Carnival. All right. Okay, cool. Are we off this? Any other takes on this topic?
No, I haven't got anything else to say.
Yeah, I think that it shouldn't be an argument, to be honest. You can't just break contract and then set that as the standard. I'm not seeing any Trinidadian connection with Harry Belafonte.
My bad. I think it was just the Calypso, because I seem to think that Belafonte has done Calypso.
And also, if you've got a rule in place and you let her off because
It opens the floodgates
for everybody else.
Everyone else can think they can get away with it. Just because she's got celebrities coming to her aid and there's a big public outcry for her to be allowed, like the governing bodies can't be like, okay, cool. That means everyone else is going to start. What about us? What about me? That means I can smoke weed. No. If there's a rule, there's a rule in it. I feel sorry for her because of the circumstances around it, but I mean, they can't let her off.
She's an athlete. She should adhere to
And plus, by this article, she can still run on the 27th. So.
Yeah.
But he has done a couple songs with Trinidad Carnival in it.
Belafonte.
Some people say
I thought he was a big Calypso, whatever. It might be that he's much older now, obviously, and his time has been.
I know he was an actor though.
He was an actor, but he's got quite the catalogue. I know this because my mother
an artiste, right?
Yeah.
Handsome man.
Yes, this is probably why my mother was
his light skin is
taken
probably
by
where it
him.
is at you.
Exactly.
All right, are you going to tell light skin guys?
Oh, Brent.
Very
Not
light-skinned.
particularly.
Okay.
No, not particularly. But people tend to
Oh, okay.
be.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not
He
my
has to
thing.
find it. He doesn't
Have
know
I?
that.
Have I? Lights?
Hold on one second, everyone.
I don't know why she's doing this.
Yeah, I don't know why.
What did she
But
say?
I just forgot, and I don't want
I've sent him the one that you sent me.
No, let me send you the.
Yes, please do that.
Okay, sorry.
What are they talking about?
Don't worry about it. Sorry.
I don't know if it's private or.
Hey, you guys. By the way, I listened to Soul Friends. I really enjoyed it. It's like, oh, Brent's so cute. Gina's even cuter.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
people.
Like,
really-
what are they?
Yes.
People really like that episode, you know.
That episode, Soul
Oh.
Friends.
Soul Friends.
I'll send it to you.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite.
When we
one
recorded it,
thus
I
far.
didn't think it would be a hit, but it was a hit.
Yeah.
It was a hit still.
I think you guys were very
Open.
vulnerable. Yeah, you were very vulnerable and honest. And
Yeah.
I don't think that very many people appreciate platonic male-female friendships.
Okay.
And really, they should.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's always sort of expecting an ulterior something or another, but just to actually
Yeah.
hear that this is what it is, it's quite refreshing. It made me think about all the friends that I haven't got anymore.
Because.
She got married.
Yeah, kind of. Or lines were crossed.
Yeah, but if you get married, you have to drop out relationships that are not completely platonic, isn't it? Like when there's like still a bit of grey area.
Yeah, out of respect for your partner.
Yeah.
And your union, really, not so much your partner.
The worst is when you know that nothing's ever gonna happen between me and this person, but you still kind of got to give him the little boot because out of respect. But you know what I'm trying to say? That could be. That can be
You
frustrating.
don't think so?
No, because I was gonna say, I think what I find, is if you're, for me, I think what makes sense is to allow your partner to have a relationship with your friend as well. So then
Okay.
it makes
Even
it.
if there's a history.
Yeah.
I don't believe in being friends with people I don't think you can be friends with someone that you've got a history with. I've said this all the time, so I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about like, you know how, do you know what I mean?
Your partner should be Yusuff's friend. That
Yeah,
sort of
like
thing.
stuff like that. So then
yeah.
vice versa. So
Yeah.
then that way.
I mean,
Okay, sorry. Editor. Who edits the
I
pod?
saved it. Don't worry.
So let's change the scenario a bit, right? Let's take me, for example, and how I'm sweet on you, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to ever change. You are going to let your husband...
Why don't I have a brand? Go
You're going to
on.
let your husband befriend me to make it easier to keep me in your life?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
tell
to
him-
ease,
There's
to
grey
ease her
area here,
husband.
right?
Because no,
You would tell him that I'm sweet on you, and then you would try to get
no,
us
but
to
then
be
that's
friends?
what I'm saying because you're sweet on me,
Yes.
it wouldn't
Could
work.
it be
So-
love?
So someone like Yusuff,
All right,
who's
so that's
not
it.
sweet on
Okay,
me,
cool.
Would be friends,
it
but
could-
you
I
no.
would make
All right,
sense.
but you would cut me out, basically.
I would unfortunately have to, not because I wanted to, but it's because
Oh.
unless you decided to no longer be sweet on me, Brent.
No, but
I am not speaking
Gina,
anymore.
just hold on. I have a question. He can be sweet on you, but it doesn't mean he's going to act upon that.
No, I know, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So that's why I wouldn't have an issue with it because him being sweet on me doesn't cross boundaries, as long as it doesn't cross boundaries, and it never has. So
But that would not be enough for your husband, would it?
that's the thing. So I'd have to take that into consideration.
Right.
So if it was a thing where it needed to no longer be the case, then it would have to
But
run.
different with Brent though, because one, Brent's not about.
I hear that, but just
So-
imagine her husband keeps looking at me and she keeps spending time with me.
Where?
Like she works
No,
with him,
because I
essentially.
exist.
Yeah,
I'm
you exist,
alive.
but you exist
But
mainly
if
here.
she's still basically coming to record
Yeah.
where I am,
Yeah.
knowing what he knows, it's
So then
going to
what-
rub him up the wrong way.
What's he gonna do? Come here every no often just to get?
No, just
good
no,
terms with you.
Gina, don't
I'm
go.
asking
Just
her,
find a different
what did she do
studio.
then?
Yeah, okay, cool.
If what? He says I should stop recording here.
Yeah, because of Brent's sweetness. Mock laughter.
Banner.
Really?
No, because it's like, in my head, yeah, I think originally, like, I would resist and act the way I'm acting and be like, really? You know what I mean? But if it became a really big deal and it was a deal breaker,
Yeah.
then I'd have to be like,
Yeah, but
bye,
why did you
Brent.
tell your man that he was sweet at you in the first place?
I didn't tell my man that he was sweet.
So then what's the issue?
So you
It's
wouldn't
just-
tell him?
Yeah, she will have to not tell him because she knows
So then
that.
there's no issue then.
Yeah,
But
he
aren't
doesn't
you
know
there
won't kill him.
then
If
sort
you
of
don't know that he's sweet on you, then
lying by omission?
But then this is the
It's not
thing,
lying,
right? Yeah,
bruv.
you know the being sweet on me
How's it lying?
situation. Yeah, no, because it's like
That can happen all over the place, right?
this
Anybody
is the thing,
can-
right?
Mhm.
You can't. If someone's like fancies you,
Yeah.
or whatever, I'm assuming that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or like, okay, if someone's attracted to you,
yeah.
yeah, So if I go to work and there's someone in my workplace in my team that's attracted to me, does that mean that I'm no longer
Yeah.
going to work?
No.
Because essentially, me coming to here to record is work.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the same thing.
Mhm.
Are you gonna now tell me that I can no longer work in my team because I have a
Somebody-
colleague who fancies me?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
So
Exactly.
it's no different. That's how I'm seeing it.
And you ain't gonna go and tell your boyfriend, oh yeah, Jake from Thingy fancies me. Like it's none of his business. It doesn't matter.
And also, if the only way it would be a problem for me is if Brent crossed boundaries.
Yeah.
If Brent crossed boundaries all the time, like if it wasn't
Repeatedly.
if it wasn't banter,
Yeah.
do you understand what I mean? And it wasn't lighthearted, then it'd be an issue because then there's the likelihood of disrespect happening. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh dear. Okay.
And then the same would be true for him if there are 5 girls at his workplace that like him,
I'd be fuming.
but you can't do anything about
But how do you know?
So I used to work with my ex-husband. That's how we met. At
Yeah,
work.
that's different. If
Yeah.
you're with him at work, then
And
oh, cool.
you would see things and you
it.
just
Where did
go.
you work? Because this episode's about you. I don't know why we talked about this printer because it's going to be 2 weeks old. So, where did you work?
I don't know what I want to say.
What's that?
No, he's right.
No, I was thinking that as well. It's not
Wait,
2 weeks.
what?
No, it's basically for the listeners.
No, next week.
This episode is being recorded a week in advance.
Okay.
So
Technically,
Obviously-
it's only a few days,
no,
Yeah.
4 days, because it's gonna come out next week Sunday. So we would have recorded on Wednesday.
yeah, but that episode is not for. But that's for Patreon.
You already have.
What are you talking about? What episode's for Patreon?
The episode with Daniel
Yeah,
is
Is
for
this Sunday?
tomorrow.
yeah. So this
This
is gonna
episode
be
is for next week Sunday.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So if we were gonna record next week Sunday's one on Wednesday, we recorded it 4 days earlier.
No,
Do you not get what I mean?
It's
I
Saturday
don't know
today.
what's
This comes out
going
next
on.
week Sunday.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
I just know that it's been 2 weeks. When they hear
If
this
we
on Sunday,
record-
it has been 2 weeks.
Today is 4 days before Wednesday, is what I'm saying. So we recorded it 4 days earlier than we normally would record.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get that.
Hey, that's what I said.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is
Talking about
no.
this particular
No,
topic.
I know that. I'm saying the story about the sprinter is going to be mad though. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about the recording.
110%. Yes, that's
But
true.
4 days is still long anyway. Talk about
in the thing.
chat about.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
where did you used
So
to
where
work?
did we work? I think I can just say we were civil servants.
I think you work for MIT or something.
MI5? No, absolutely not.
Okay.
MI6 or MI5? No. But I think civil servants will have to do. You know what? In spite of all the things,
What
or
is
how
the
open
talk about?
how open I have
Do you
been
still work
about
there?
my marriage and my sex life and whatever.
Do you still work there?
I
Wow, she still
I
works
haven't
there.
I haven't open. Well, I don't know. I feel kind of protective of my ex-husband's identity. So people who know me will know who he is. But
And you listen to this
fine.
podcast? Your age mates listen to this podcast?
How old are you, Emily?
Well, man probably
You look
age
very
you,
young,
bro.
by the way.
everybody.
Man
last
aged
night
you.
Very
I
young.
played this game with people.
Man said your age mates. Man
And I know because I was like, a whole bunch of people were like, oh yeah, so how old are you? I'm like, guess. Mid-20s. Oh, I'm laughing in my head. What do you mean mid-20s? I don't know if it was the outfit, I don't know if it was the makeup. I'm like, absolutely not. And this one guy thought that he had the upper hand in me because like, yeah, so I'm 41 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, good for you. I was like, how old are you, Emily? And I said, well, guess. And he's like, you must be like maybe 29. I said, dude, I'm going to be 42 end of this month. And
You're
he was
lying. I'm not going to lie because I didn't think you were in your 40s.
I'm turning 42 at the end of this month.
I had no idea.
Oh.
I thought, because do you know what threw me off?
But
I honestly thought you were like their age.
That's because she goes to faded.
I'm not listening.
To be fair. To be fair,
Faded.
I definitely believe you were like the Yusuffs. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how old is Yusuff?
I was about to say your age, but I don't know if I'm allowed.
Say it. Why not?
I said my age on
You
this
said
Sometimes,
he's
podcast.
what, 35?
I'm 45.
If he says his age, I'll say
He's
my
not
age.
45.
Even though people who listen know my age already. I'm 36.
Yeah, so I thought
So
you were like
all babies.
I
yeah.
thought you were like 36, 37 max. But when Brent said your age group, I thought, wait, hold on a minute. That must mean y'all are not in the same bracket.
I actually, the other day, almost said I'm middle-aged. And I thought, Emily, relax. You're not middle-aged yet. But
To be
I'm
fair,
almost there.
I've never really thought about your age,
That's interesting.
So I'm neither surprised or not surprised. I never really thought how old you was.
I get it a lot because my peers, as he says, are like, you're listening to 3 shots of tequila. What is that? Who are those people? Emily, come on. You're smarter than that. You're better than that.
is it?
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of that from a lot
Oh.
of people.
So you should be listening to Oprah?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
damn
should
15-years-olds
be-
listen to Oprah.
I should be, Oprah, Brene Brown, or whoever
who that
else.
is.
I should be a bit more intellectual. That's
you're right,
what
you're
people
right.
expect of me. And I just kind of think,
That's probably
well,
why because you ooze,
Yeah, you're young, man.
Youth.
you ooze youth. So
Your
like,
spirit is young.
yeah, so I think they're just jealous. And that's probably partly why you look so young as well. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think they're just hating because they can't get inside from
I
outside
have
the
a
club.
zest for life. I love that phrase. No, I'm really enjoying life now.
She's
really
like Danielle.
Yes, but Danielle's older.
Who's
Yeah,
Danielle? Your
right,
business
I forgot about
partner.
that.
Yeah.
Like, you would never think she was her age. Again, youthful living, man.
I wish. You know what? I feel like I've lived a whole lifetime.
A couple.
I'm exhausted.
I can imagine, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm only just starting to zen again. I'm tired now.
And you have
I just
children as
need
well,
to
so I'm
relax.
sure that's a whole nother life journey. And all that.
Do you think you're done with kids?
Completely.
Okay.
And
So-
also, unless Future Bay, because I do have a Future Bay, unless Future Bay is like, come on, Emily, I'm like one for the road, last one. But if I
One
do
for the
that,
road.
if I do that, I'm not working, I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning. I'm just mothering, because those things I found very exhausting. To be working, to be a mum, to be the cleaner, to be the chef, to be the emotional whatever, to be the sex partner. I can't. I'm done. I need somebody to cater to me.
I hear that.
Yeah,
They make cater to you.
that's
respect
right.
it.
That's right.
So, civil servant,
Oh,
because you want to protect his identity.
yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, in spite of everything. Like, we had a major fight this week, and someone was saying to me, Emily, you're so kind to him or whatever. I'm just like,
Major fight this week. I thought you guys had split up time ago. What you
we
still
split
arguing about?
up 3 years ago.
Why are
pretty
you still
much.
arguing?
Co-parenting.
Say, no, I'm not going to fuck you up the ass again, man. Stop asking me shit.
No,
You ain't still getting
he's also in a relationship now. It's the only things we get intense about is the co-parenting,
Yeah.
which is completely new ground for us.
Yeah.
So that's
Are the children young?
no. My son is 10. Okay, so we have 2
So
children.
they are young. What the hell?
Yeah, 10 and 7.
What?
Yeah.
10 years old. That's young.
Yeah, well, I think he's a big boy now.
Okay.
He is actually. He's got a very mature head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And the girl she's girly and 7 and everything. So
Very young children. That's why I understand the co-parenting arguments, because you still
Yeah.
have to be
yeah,
using his
exactly,
dialect. Okay.
exactly. Very hands-on, both of us. But why was I saying this again? I can't remember.
How did you meet? Yes, you met at work. And you said you saw stuff at work and stuff like that. We're talking about.
Oh yes, the girls.
Yeah,
So
fine.
I joined that particular department, that particular office, after he'd been there for maybe 3, 4, 5 years, and he had established friendships with lots of girls, and he was kind of not a ladies man as such, but
Black girls?
Sorry.
No.
Black girls?
No, there were only 2 black women in the office, and I was one of them. The other joined when I joined, so
Yeah.
everybody else was white. He
right,
was-
okay.
Yeah, he's white as well. And they had very good friendships, kind of like you guys, for the most part. But looking from the outside in, it didn't look like that. It was always like, why are you giving her a shoulder massage at 12:15, in the middle of the casework?
Can I be a little bit intrusive?
Mhm.
Like, do you have a picture?
Why is she taking so long?
Please. I need a visual.
So do I, to be fair.
Oh, you guys.
Let's just get there.
Please. Because I gotta figure out if this guy is more on the Tom Hardy side.
You're
and,
you're in for a shock,
I'm
I
gonna be-
think.
I'm
Beckham
gonna be
side.
rattled.
She was there saying he's a ladies' man. So
Jude Law side.
I'm gonna be rattled. I can
or
tell.
is he more like Anand Deck type side?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I just-
Deck is-
Do you know what? I don't have very
Anand Deck
many
are a
pictures
side,
of him.
yes. But they ain't the Tom Hardy that side, bro.
Okay, he's definitely not Tom Hardy.
And I don't even think Tom Hardy's that good looking. It's more so from you, Gina, that you always
He's
pick
all
him
right.
up.
It's more of a David Beckham.
David Beckham, okay.
No, I think Hardy's saucy.
I don't like his teeth.
He's small, but he's petite almost for a man. Do I have a picture?
Or like John B in them, man. Or even Chet Hanks,
No, Chet doesn't do it for me.
Jack Harlow and them, man. There.
Get out.
Yo, when Jack Harlow moved to Sweetie,
Sweetie, that was
I rated it still.
cute.
I rated it still. It was very smooth with it. But him and Quavo just
Oh, Father's
doing
Day.
buddy the other week.
I have a Father's Day album in my. There you go. That's where you'll find it.
All right.
Let me give Gina first and see what
Okay.
she says.
I'm living.
What?
I am living.
Why? Buffing.
Cheekbones though. Okay, bitch. No, because I'm
The suspense is killing me, Pete. I beg.
Emily, this can't be the only one. Please, can I venture through? Because I feel like the others will give me a bit more.
Brent, they're killing us right now, bro.
I like the fact that it's still there in front of her face.
Nah, you
What, is
know
it the
what?
Father's
Because she
Day
can't
album?
believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the album. Oh,
Yeah.
your daughter's beautiful.
Thank you.
She's absolutely beautiful.
That's him.
Yeah, but Gina, you can't believe it for what reason?
No,
You said
need
like,
to
give me
When you see the picture, you will know why.
I want to know what you. Okay, let him have a look and then.
It's the way. It's because of the.
Just
the
give me the
colour.
phone, Jared.
Yusuff, please.
What is wrong? Explain this to me. I don't get it. What is this? Sorry.
Wickle.
This guy.
Wickle.
Wait a minute.
Yusuff, can you see why I'm rattled?
Why are you
But
guys
I like
rattled?
cheekbones. Though.
I don't get it. Why are you
He
rattled?
is serving face in that picture. That is
I'm
what's
not gonna lie,
killing me.
because he's kind of like, he's not Jude Law and them, man, but he's not Anand Deck and them, man, either. He's kind of somewhere
In between.
in between.
Go through the rest of the album. No, because
You have to run it by me.
He's
Oh, sorry.
He's got hair.
He's got very long hair.
He's
Right?
got hair.
But he's giving me like,
Now this makes sense. I don't know why you guys are going on.
Really?
Yeah.
So why did? Okay.
no, my reaction was because of the shirt collar and that.
That's what you know. What it was. It looked very Tudor. Like
Yeah,
Tudor, like
like-
Oh, and he's not like that at all.
Like,
Let me find you some other ones.
He's giving me like, I'm the sixth in line in case Prince Harry dies.
Yeah.
Like,
Squire.
Yeah, Squire. Yeah,
Yeah,
Which
Squire.
is why I
Yeah.
laughed really hard.
Yeah.
That's why I
Royalty.
said I need to go through the rest of the
Yeah.
pictures. So when I went through the rest of the pictures and I saw more,
He's-
like,
This
jeans,
is more him.
casual.
That is more him. Jeans and a t-shirt. That's even
Okay,
though
cool.
that's quite a long time.
Now
ago.
he's giving me Shoreditch Soho
Shoreditch.
vibes.
That's what I'm
Oh, is that
saying.
right?
He's like a show.
Yeah.
He's like a Shoreditch, like the shaggy hair. The,
yeah. And
Yeah.
Converse.
Yeah.
He wore Converse to a wedding, and stuff like that. Like he's a relaxed kind of guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I now want to know how he decided to go from
I wish
Emma
I
and
had
Becky
more
to you.
pictures.
Yeah, man, he's a handsome guy.
No, I know. My reaction was the shirt. It
Oh,
threw me
did
off.
I pick the wrong picture then?
It threw me off.
Let me see. No, Emily, don't ever do that again.
I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Let me see.
Listen,
Don't ever show
I was
that
thinking, who is
first.
this posh, pompous Kensington lad?
Is that what you thought?
Yeah.
He's a working class boy. Well, no, his mother would disagree.
No, where's
Yeah, I need to see younger pictures of you.
look?
Me.
Yes,
Outrageous.
yeah.
This picture made
Emily,
sense.
yeah.
though.
Okay, yeah, that's more him. This might cover businesses.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like he's more so on the Jude Law than man side.
Yeah.
But he has bare different looks though. This is like another look.
He does. So most people people that have known him for a long time say
Yeah.
he kind of looks like a more attractive Kurt Cobain.
I see that.
And I think that's bang on, down to even his dress sense and his
Yeah.
sort of melancholy occasionally and, things like that.
Yeah,
I would
you were
say.
selling yourself short with all of this, man.
Was
'Cause
I?
when you See, now factor in
Do you
the
know
pegging.
who I was?
Now factor in the pegging.
So
That's
tell me
wild.
Well, because he looks like this as well.
He looks like a regular fella, right? Now he
Do
wants.
you know who I pictured? Someone like a
Anton
chubby,
Dick.
a
With glasses,
chubby,
isn't
it?
big, sneaky looking, energy ego man.
100%.
Like
Wow,
But-
really?
Yeah.
I guess that's what most people think, you know.
No, but then I wouldn't think you would go for that type of guy you're describing. So
No,
it's,
I
it's
wouldn't.
weird.
I think he's a
Yeah.
very attractive man.
No, he is an attractive
Let me
man.
see again. Let me see again.
He is.
No, to be honest, based on her description, it made sense for where you are from.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
For that to be what I would be with.
Yeah, when I say you are from, as in your country.
Yeah.
I could only expect that type of fella to come to your country to
Somebody
collect
said
you.
this. I don't know if it was three
Yeah, but-
shots.
yeah,
or
but
you,
is
somebody
that
was
what he
saying
meant?
Ugandan girls.
I was
Is that
wondering
what he
older
didn't,
but-
men.
Like,
For me,
I
though,
didn't know
yeah.
much about her history.
Yeah.
Growing
Do you
up,
understand? I
yeah.
thought she's fresh.
Like the
So
there
that
weren't
makes
the
sense.
stigma, but there was
Okay.
always like Southern African women.
Yeah,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
East African ones
And
as
East
well.
African women tend to
Have the bunda, right?
no, not even
Marry
that. But
Okay,
they
sorry.
marry, but they
Kind
marry,
of.
they marry.
I like what you
Can
do.
we-
Immigration
can we just
status.
clap? Can we just clap quickly? Yeah.
Wait, that's not racist.
Growing up, it was like Southern African women tend to
Yeah.
go that way.
So when I said
100%.
white man,
So
that's the
I was picturing
image. Yeah.
my man's mum's boyfriend. I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
no, he's only a few months older than me. We met at work. He was dating someone at the time that I joined the department, but they broke up. I didn't know about this. And apparently, I found this out much later. His girlfriends were like, you know, Emily's not bad. Maybe you should start talking to Emily to get you out of this funk. And I didn't know that was happening. I remember there was a party and we went to this party. Or was it before the party? I can't remember. Oh no, we started exchanging movies. This is how
So
old
he
I
had a
am.
history of dating black women.
No,
So why
I
is
know
this
he'd
girl
slept with a black
recommending-
woman before?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
But,
he has experience. Yeah.
As far as I know, one, he refused to talk about his ex-partners, but every now and then would be walking down the street and you'd see the girl with the pink hair that just walked past you. I've slept with her. And, you know, that would
Bad
happen.
boy.
Straight.
Man said, I'm a Gallus. I've done my thing.
But I was
man.
like, oh, cool. And is that, so everybody had a name. I knew the stories. Was it Karen? Was it Girl Joe? Was it, you know, whoever. And I was like, oh, was that her? And sometimes I'd be running back to see, okay, I've caught, you know, that's her. But no, I don't know why he picked me, but I think his friends pointed me out just because they thought we'd get on. It wasn't so much a racial issue. And I actually said this to somebody else. I've said his name.
Can we blip it out?
That him and I never discussed race seriously until George Floyd.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It just, we did have one or two conversations. His father, for example, is a Daily Mail reader. And we would be like, Dad, he'd be like, oh, Dad's like, you know, whatever. And we're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Does his father know what he gets into?
No, his family don't know.
Why would he?
His family
No,
don't
but
know. Well,
this is it. His father's a Daily Mail reader.
Yeah.
Daily Mail readers.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that they would
if
like
he knew
that type
that
of
would
lifestyle.
be, that would be out. I don't even know what would happen. His mother was very liberal, very, very liberal, Guardian reader, etc., etc. But then she
Sorry,
was...
can we just stop for a second? You
Yeah.
guys are judging people based on what papers they read.
This
Yes.
is life.
It-
Guardian
it
reader,
says- yeah, it
Daily
says-
Mail reader. I've never heard this before in my life.
Profile, yeah.
It says
Okay.
a lot, yeah, about a person, what
Okay.
kind of news they choose to consume. Because it
Okay.
informs their politics, I
Okay,
think. Yeah,
okay.
and then that says a lot about a person. Yeah, so mum was liberal, very nice, but then typically white in the sense that she'd say things like, oh, I wonder what the baby's going to look like, you know, without really meaning anything by it.
Queen Elizabeth vibes.
That sort of thing. What color will the baby's eyes be, Emily? Because, you know, because we've got blue eyes and you guys have that sort of thing.
How do I know?
Well, yeah, but then there's sort of an ignorance and a curiosity that
course.
comes with it about these
course,
things.
of
So
course.
yeah, so we'd have conversations like that, and every now and then I have to be like, well, you know, this is not the kind of thing you ask, or this is not kind of...
Yeah.
So, and she was open to having those discussions. That was the best thing about it all.
Yeah.
And her friends as well. She had lots of friends who had mixed race children. So I suppose the stereotype of the white woman that dates the man from the, you know, the West Indies. She had a few of those friends with mixed race children. She's like, so-and-so's kid, you know, looks like this. I wonder if your boy will, that sort of thing.
Date.
But
Haha.
otherwise, they were,
Just smashed.
huh?
You said dates.
Well,
Did you hear
Stick
Brent
around.
laugh?
yeah. No, it's fine.
Just
Oh,
leave a
and
bun and then
also,
duck out.
his older brother is married to a Chinese girl from Hong Kong. So there was sort of an openness to otherness, to
Yeah, it's a bit different,
non-whiteness.
though, to be
Yeah.
honest, yeah.
So, well, yes, but non-whiteness. If you look at it from the
Yeah.
perspective of a white person,
Yeah.
anything that isn't white, that's
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. What was I saying? I feel like I've rambled on now and I've missed the.
No, you were saying that. at
Why did
work-
he pick?
No, it was more about him having all these girls at
Yeah,
work and
yeah.
Oh yes. So we started. So we sort of began to build a friendship of sorts. He was the guy in the office who knew all the IT stuff and who knew all about the old ways of working, the new ways of working. So if anybody ever had something, we're like, oh, can you help me do this? That sort of thing. So we got to speaking to each other like that for a bit. But then when his friends put him on Emily, we started talking about TV shows and movies, and I didn't have lots of things. I was still a student at the time, and I lived in a shared house, and I didn't have anything really. I think I lived in the smallest room in the house and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't have a TV. We have a general TV downstairs. Like, oh no, get your stuff. You can put this on your laptop. And I remember having an interest in Project Runway. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Project Runway. It was Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn. So he would download these things for me and give them to me either on a little flash disc or something. And that was the basis of our conversations. But so I started to grow fond of him. But then I started to hate the relationships that he had with his friends who had been there before me, really. And I had no reason to be upset that he was massaging so-and-so or so-and-so was playing with his hair and, that sort of thing. Plus, he was the guy in the office, like I said, that everybody came to. So I was just saying that in that instance, I can see how I would not cope with that situation well. I'm just not the kind of person that is okay when the tables are turned, but I fully expect you to.
Nice.
I would have done. The old me would have done, but right now I think I'm a bit more introspective and therefore willing to grow.
I keep picturing like a 1980s office environment.
That's why
You-
It's killing me.
because of 100 years old, right? It was
I'm
an
sitting here
open
laughing to
plan,
myself.
civil service open. No, it was not.
Man said Mad Men.
Oh my God.
I don't even get that
Brent,
joke.
thank
because-
you.
You know the Mad Men, that's right. It's cool.
With
Oh,
the
you get
suit
together, get
and
together,
smoking
get
in the
together.
office, yeah?
100%.
Actually, you know what? There might have been a time where, okay, no, I'm lying. People used to smoke outside. No, I'm not. Actually, no. I seem to remember, at least when I just joined, smoking outside was new. They just recently banned. Oh my God, that's how old.
No, you ain't that old.
I think so.
You're only like
When was the smoking
6
ban
years older than Brent.
Brent looks like he's
Do you know what's so
20-something.
crazy? You're a
Thanks.
whole decade older than me.
I know. Listen,
That
I'm
is
around people every
mad.
now and then, and I'm like, Emily.
You
I try not. I didn't. So I had this conversation with somebody else. That Emily, you are 40. You're gonna be 42 years old, and I have new friends who are like 10 years younger than me, etc. How does that make you feel? And I don't think that my age is an issue to me. It's other people's perception of my age. So when you asked how old I was, I kind of thought, should I say or shouldn't say? But I don't mind. But I know that people are going to react to this a certain way, so I have to sort of, prepare myself for that. But it's not on me. How they feel about my age and what I do or how I carry myself is more a reflection of their own
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
perceptions, etc. So I can let that go.
The thing
I
is,
really can.
you rattle them sometimes when it is you are educating them about stuff they're supposed to know about.
Yes.
You understand? You listen to 3 Shots and you actually being aware of what's happening in this particular space. And younger people don't even know because they don't even listen to that content. You've got a heads up. You're progressive.
Oh,
Stay
look at
that way.
I appreciate that.
Like you're aging backwards, man.
I mean, you know what? I had a therapy session yesterday, and I was saying to my therapist something like, sometimes I don't know where I am. I just kind of feel completely lost because I sort of have one foot in this world, and then, the other part of me is mummying and all that other stuff, and then there's, separation and co-parenting. I feel like I'm everywhere at the same time, and I don't know where I am. She goes, Emily, you wear very many hats. You're an ex-wife, you're a co-parent, you're a mom, you're a sister, you're all these other things. You have to make time to just be who you are. Forget what everybody else wants, needs, and expects from you. What do you want and what do you need? And she was actually saying to me, I'm not assertive, which blew my mind because I think I'm quite assertive. She's like, you're not at all, Emily. When was the last time you said to somebody, actually, I hear you, but I want this? And I very rarely tell people what I want.
Are you honest with your therapist?
Yes, Florence is she's
Can
my
you
safe
speak
space.
to why that's important?
Me being honest to her?
Mm.
I mean, if I'm not honest to her, how is she going to help me? Do you know what I mean? If I'm not giving her the right information, she can't give me the right feedback. So I absolutely have to be naked in front of her. I really do.
Do you sometimes have the urge to hide certain things because you don't want her to tell you what you know full well she's going to tell you?
In the beginning, yes.
Why did you do that?
Self-preservation. Because when you're starting out in therapy, I think whether or not you want to, you feel like you're going to be judged. Nobody wants to be judged. So you have to get to a place where you accept that your therapist is actually here for you. They want to help you, but they cannot help you, like I just said, if you're not giving them the raw materials. Like, what is she going to do with you? So you have to get to a point where you realize, right, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say everything, and you almost have a wall between you because she's, as much as you are pouring yourself out to her, she's a stranger. You're actually paying her for this hour or whatever you have with her. So put it all out there. Put it all out there. And we're now sort of moving from the session we had yesterday, and this assertiveness, this lack of assertiveness. It's kind of going back to my sex life now, you know. She was saying to me, Emily, for the whole time you were married, you defaulted to your husband's needs. What do you want sexually? So I've been celibate for over a year now. And one of the reasons is that in the 10 plus years that I was with my ex-husband, everything was about him. Not that he demanded it or that he refused to give me what I wanted. I'm only realizing now that I didn't bother to cater to myself. And I just it was easier for me to please him. And now I've got to be like, all right, Emily, if you're going to have sex again, what's it going to be like? Because you're not going to mess about this time, are you? You really have to get yours. And that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for me.
That's a question. What does getting yours look like?
I'm learning that.
Sexually. So, for example,
I'm only just learning that now.
when you were with him, he was telling you all the things he wanted to do, which
Yeah.
were kind of out of the norm, so to speak, innit?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you guys were still having sex on a regular basis,
Yeah.
But what extra things did you kind
Did I
of yearn
ask
for
for?
that you didn't get or that you didn't even ask for?
Do you know what, Yusuff? This is where hot wifing became a bit of a mazza is the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
My
Mazzaline.
friend is laughing at me. I realized that I know it's still the case now, but the realization that I got out of hot wifing is that what I find attractive in a man isn't necessarily the sexual activity. It's the dynamic between me and him. And because at the time that we had hot wifed was quite some time into the marriage, honestly, what I wanted, like I just said to Gina before, was to be catered to. It isn't so much what he's doing, but his approach to how we're going to sex, if that makes sense. You take the lead and be all about me, if that makes sense.
No, I hear that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And that was an eye opener for me actually,
Yeah.
because hot wifer dude was like that, and I think because of his eagerness and his having wanted to whatever. I mean, he just did absolutely everything. I was just literally like, oh, okay, so this is about me, and I can do that. I can have that, and that flipped the script for me completely. So I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
Did he mature his sexual appetite whilst with you, or was it already present before you?
Oh God, it was there before me. It really was. Like, I remember the first time I went to his house. That was the first time he revealed something else about me. Have I told you guys? Have I told 3 shots? I'm missing it. I've told 3 shots. You guys will
Say it.
You guys will decide whether or not you want to keep it in. So when I probably said it to you actually, I don't know, maybe it was 3 shots. The first time we had a date, I suppose. We went over to his. Nothing happened that night, but the next morning, I'd gone to work to do some overtime, came back in, and we were going to have sex. But he says to me, Emily, I need to tell you something. And if you're on board with this, it's fine. If you're not, it's fine too. But you need to know. Otherwise, because it's not going away, it's something that I'm all
It
about.
was on 3 shots, yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but it got
Yes,
taken
Brett, you
out.
were here.
You got taken out though.
It got taken out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Say it. If
3
it's time to take out.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, okay. Tell me. And he says, well, I actually have a thing for cross-dressing. I said, cross-dressing like how? Like, what do you mean?
Why was that taking out 3 shots?
They decided, Marv thought, I DM'd Marv about it, I think, and he thought that it would be a bit insensitive perhaps to my
I thought it was
ex-husband.
you that asked to take it out, to be honest.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to take it out. Marv was like, no, Emily, you can't keep that in
All
right
right,
now.
okay.
Yeah, he's like, whoever he is, whatever he's about, it's not fair to him to have that out there. And
That doesn't sound like Marv.
That's what I'm saying. That was like my
does it not?
No.
He will have to tell you.
We fell asleep, but just
Maybe. No, because I think he asked me about it. And I had said that on my lives, I had on my Instagram lives that I used to do. I had discussed it so many times, and every time that I had done, I'd said, listen, I'm talking about us, and I'm talking about us and it'd be like, it's your life, Emily, it's your experience. Don't water it down, because that is exactly what. And that was our agreement.
Okay.
And repeatedly, I would say, every now and then I'd have this niggly feeling, or somebody would say, oh my God, Emily, you just said that. And I'd be like, I've said this. It's like, I've told you. So I'm there now. Anyway, so yeah, that afternoon, he's like, yeah, I cross-dress. And I'm like, I know what that is, but I don't really know. He's like, do you want me to show you? I'm like, yeah, please show me. And so I sort of just waited around, and he did his thing, and he put on the full, he did the full transformation.
Does he do it in public or only in private?
In private. He would love to do it in public, but he hasn't gotten there yet. Maybe
he's really hit the full spectrum of things. In it, like.
There is so much more, by the way. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh,
I feel.
I can imagine.
No,
not just for him, for many
that.
people. There's a lot more.
Clearly there is.
You've
No.
gone everywhere.
He's
No!
hit in terms of like, people ask about,
So-
like, are you kinky or are you a freak and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He's ticking all the boxes for that. Like, he's the king right now.
But you know what? Sorry, Gina, go ahead.
So how did it feel, you in that moment, yeah, going to like a guy that you're dating's house, and this is the first time you're gonna have sex,
Yeah.
and then can you please take me
Yeah,
visually?
to reveal it on the first time is a bit of a risk.
But I know, but
Yeah,
what did I need to know what that looked like? Take me there. So what did he wear?
Heels, did he have any bangs on?
He started with a wig. That was the easiest thing to do, a long blonde wig. He already had long hair, but so with a long, more feminine, with more volume in it. And I thought, okay, I can see that. And then he says, there's more. I'm like, more like what? Like, let's see this. So he put on, it was like negligee.
Like who?
Yeah, I don't know why she doesn't know what it is, but
I don't know what that is.
this speaks more to now.
Brent,
The
can you
follow-up
let her
question.
finish?
She will get back. She will get back to it. But he was now presenting as a woman,
Essentially,
and,
but
and you still ran with it.
This is why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get on to continue. But I'm going to get back onto this.
okay. So
And
yes,
but also back onto the extra stuff
So
that
many
is much
questions.
wilder than what we've already heard. Because I don't believe there's anything wilder.
No,
right?
there is so much
No,
more.
there is.
You tell me what could be wilder.
Brent,
Use your
in fact,
imagination.
the
I
thing is,
can't,
You might be
but I
worried
want to
about
know.
your IP address, but I was going to send you to fetlife.com.
I tried to Google that, but I think I forgot what you had actually said on 3 shots. But whatever popped up wasn't an official site. So I'm like, next time you come on, I'm going to actually ask you what site you're talking about.
I think I have an account, but I haven't used it in forever.
What's FetLife?
Fet as in fetish, and then
Oh.
life, yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, Gina is fuming now. So yes, he put on the negligee, kind of like a sexy nightie.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had the wig on, and I was like, okay, I want to see the full Monty, like just show me everything that you do. So he had like
Bro.
a bra with boob inserts, underwear with hip and bum inserts as well.
Why do you laugh like that?
Because she looked
Because
at
I'm
me.
looking at
Oh.
Gina and she's like, no, she's about to walk out. She's like, calm. And then he put makeup on. And his makeup game is far better. I've never done makeup well enough. And his makeup game was really good.
No,
So-
the thing is,
So
go on. The reason why I'm rattled is because you know when someone's got like kinks and stuff like
Yeah.
that to do, yeah, and you look at like,
did he wear heels?
you
yes, he had a collection of everything.
The levels.
like not levels, but when you line them up, you see some like, are these similar? Are these in the same box? Hot wifing and this are two complete different stratospheres to me. You know
Oh,
what I'm trying to say?
okay.
Like, for example,
Okay, I
like
hear
this,
you.
like this, the
It's very
cross-dressing,
personal,
the cross-dressing
very about
and
him.
the pegging, you could put that maybe in the same box.
Mm-hmm.
But then to Hot Wife 2, his mind is all over the gaff. Like, he's on it, bruv. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I've. Sorry, I think I should finish Gina's. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
finish
go on,
Gina's
go on.
question
like
first.
it's, I think
Sorry.
it's like Pandora's box.
Yeah,
right?
it's a
But
mad
now
thing.
he's in the playground.
Yeah, he's like, he's running here, there, everywhere. So give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me this. Like, he's mad.
So is one.
Yeah. So what I need to do, if you can,
I'll try to explain that to you.
you have to give me everything else, but give me one or two others that
She
he's
will
done,
go. She'll be able to.
just so I can place them and see whether or not they're
Do
similar
we
to
have
this.
to? Okay. So yes, Gina, he did that, and while he was saying he presented as a woman, he was very, very keen on not hiding his private
Penis.
parts. Yeah, so his penis was still very much a part of what he was doing. He was not, I mean, depending on whether, for example, he wanted to just look at himself as a woman, he might tuck it away. And there was a special way to tuck everything away to the point that it looked like there was absolutely nothing. But for the most part, he wanted to play with himself when he was presenting as a woman. So his penis was in its full glory. And he was actually very aroused while he was dressing from start to finish. That was pretty much a lot of what it was. It wasn't so much, okay, so I'm all dressed up now. It's the entire process was very arousing to him. So Gina is asking, so Emily, you sat there, it's the first time,
Yeah.
you're linking this guy, you may or may
Give me
not.
some of this.
How are you feeling about this? To be honest, I was like, what the actual fuck is this?
Did you have sex with him afterwards though?
I did.
What, in the get up? Or he took it off?
Like, did you ever have?
But
Did
he
you
still
ever
had
have?
his makeup on?
Did you ever have sex with him whilst he dressed as?
Oh yeah.
The fact that this is the first time is surprising.
This
So
is
I'll
what
tell
I
you
don't
what. I'll tell you what
understand.
about.
I need complete honesty from you,
Yeah.
Emily, because upon seeing that, the entire process,
Yeah.
right? And again, him getting excited. I mean, you can actually now see that this is big for him because he's
Very
aroused,
important,
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if then you were like, well, this really means a lot to you,
Yeah.
and I'm attracted to you, and I now want to serve you in that particular.
I didn't think that at the time, Brent.
What were you thinking? Because you said, Gina, you told Gina that you had sex afterwards,
Yes.
right? So you said that as soon as you saw it, you're like, what the?
That was my
wasn't
initial
enough
thought.
to turn you
Yeah.
off.
No, it didn't. It was more a curiosity. Something that I had absolutely never even considered. So I was like, what is this? You know, I don't get it. I don't know what to do with it. But also don't forget that I had known him for a period of time. So he isn't just presenting his entire self to me like this. So I know him and I like him as a person. This is just an aspect of who he is as a person. We hadn't had sex before. And because he had said this was very important to him, and I wanted to have sex with...
Yeah.
I have to find a name for him. I don't know.
Jake.
No, Jake. Yeah, Jake. Is that Chad? I like Chad. Chad's a very white boy name.
Run with it.
So because I like Chad, I wanted to have sex with Chad. Chad is saying to me, this is actually a very integral part of who I am. You don't have to like it. And I thought, well, let me give it a shot. You know, let me see how I feel about this. Even though I have never considered it, I'll give it a try.
So stop there. So the typical back home woman, because you weren't born here,
No, I was, born in Uganda. Yeah.
would see that and
And become Gloria.
run, right?
Oh, don't let Gloria hear this.
100%.
And
You
mention
would
bye,
run,
bye,
but you said that a curiosity. So what it tells
Not
me
so
is,
much the curiosity, but my affection
Yeah,
for it, my
yeah.
growing affection,
but
fondness for
still,
him.
whatever it was, it transcended your natural urges.
Yeah.
Then again, it may not have transcended your natural urges. Back in, where are you from again?
Uganda.
You might have been a curious soul anyway.
I was. And
Do you
there's
understand?
a lot to say there, but
This
yes,
is
I
it.
was,
This is
yeah.
it. So it all kind of,
Fits.
Yeah, no, for her to partake in all this means that
Yeah.
she was on it too.
Yeah, I was.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
cool,
was.
cool,
You were
And,
down.
and I'm a very sexual person.
You were complicit.
Yes, I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been a very sexual person from my preteen years.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, I mean, looking back.
by choice or
No, that's just me.
So, okay, cool. So,
What?
I'm just a sexual person.
you said preteen. I said by choice.
Yes,
Oh,
sorry.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
you.
it's
I
just
didn't
me.
want. I wanted to know if it was.
You had this conversation.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
basically talking about when it is that you were saying that you were.
Okay.
The girl in the bed,
Yeah. So I just wanted to know if it is I had to basically be careful with what it is I'm saying.
No. I
Cool,
mean,
cool.
yeah, okay, no. So,
I do remember that we were cuddling in the bed though, but that's another story.
Did it come to you?
Yeah, but it came to me, but it's a thought that I already had that I just forgot about in that moment. But yeah, so it wasn't a
But
new
she
thought.
holding you like anyway? No.
It was like
let's not
from
digress.
behind.
I feel like this has gone up and down, round and round.
No,
Your
what I
listeners are
mean
going to
is,
be fuming.
I didn't just remember it for the first time. I already knew about that, but I just forgot that day.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because he thinks I'm gonna have this awakening, like,
But I don't. Never mind.
no, it,
Gina. Okay, so I was curious. And we had sex.
crazy, man.
We had sex with him still sort of in character. And at the end of it all, I said to him, this doesn't do anything for me. Right? You as actually his female presentation has a name, and we used to call her that name or call.
Lil Kim.
I was gonna ask if he had a name.
Had a name.
Talk to me. Continue.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask you. Yeah?
Yes.
Obviously, you said that you're bisexual as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you ever present? I'm sure you maybe said this before, but did you ever present your kinks to him? At all? Obviously, you said you were mainly catering to his needs.
Did she have any?
What are yours then? Because obviously, if you are,
I'm on this journey, Yusuff. I'm on this journey, and for example, my wank bank is full of.
so
Your wank
Basically,
bank?
what the material she uses to basically.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody has a wank bank. If you wank, sorry, am I even allowed to?
But what's the bank? Is it something that's online?
No,
Is it like a box?
just your mental
No,
Rolodex.
Oh.
of the things
The hell?
that turn you
No,
on.
the things in the box. Like you might have magazines,
I
toys.
used to
2021,
all that
we're
stuff,
in
yeah.
digital
But
world now. So, what's the categories?
I don't.
No, you can still have
don't know what
toys. We can talk about digital world. Toys are actual physical things.
Yeah. Why was I saying this? I lose track.
You
of
said
what
your
I'm
wank bank.
Why was I talking about my?
No, because I'm trying to
You were
ask
asking me
you
whether I
what
had
were your
kinks.
things
Yeah.
that you have asked him to do for you. Considering
No, so with him, or maybe compared to him, I was very vanilla.
Okay.
If that makes sense. There was nothing that you would say was out of the box or kinky or freaky that I wanted him to do for me.
Okay.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Okay.
And I think I'm learning now about, so you know how people have, you're either sapiosexual or demisexual or all these things.
I've never heard of this before.
Have you not?
Pure
I
or
have.
demi?
Sapiosexual is the whole mind thing.
Yes.
Demi, what's demisexual?
Demi is emotional attachment. You almost have to, if it's, let's say I have a crush on Yusuff, there is no way I'm going to sleep with Yusuff unless I build some kind of romantic story around it, or think that he's gonna love me and I love him, and then
Is that me?
yeah,
Isn't it?
Yeah, so that's demisexual.
So, okay, cool. So there's
Virtuous
demi,
mind.
and then there's
But
what else?
That's
sapio.
virtuous, by the way.
Why?
Is it what?
As in, you can't just have sex without
No,
actually being
I can't.
virtuous.
Yeah,
I can't,
Okay.
and that's probably one of the reasons I've been celibate for so long. And the opportunities have been there. But I'm just like, what is this? It can't just be sex.
Yeah.
And that's why I potentially don't have kinks. If I found the right person, I could probably be the kinkiest person on earth.
But wasn't he the right person? Chad.
Chad. Like I say, I'm only just coming to myself, if that makes sense, Yusuff. So I defaulted to him. I don't know out of what. This is what part of what my therapy session was about. And Florence, my therapist, was saying to me that I have a lot of childhood, sort of the things that built me, pillars that built me to be who I am, that stopped me or prevented me. I was discouraged from being myself, from saying what I want or what I need. And when she said that to me, I realized, yes, I remember once writing a poem to my mum about who I am. I said, I am me, and this is blah, blah. My mum was like, the fuck is this? You're a child. Put it away.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to say or do or want or demand or stand in your own, and that that's just one example. I think everything else was you defer to your elders.
Okay.
And I think for whatever reason, that is the foundation of who I am as a person. And that's what I need to unpack and unlearn so much later in my life. But no, I never asked anything of him. I don't even think I initiated sex as much. I don't think I was very affectionate as well. He had to do everything to start. And that was just as frustrating as it was potentially exciting for him.
Break down the other ones again. So you got
Sapiosexual, demisexual.
yeah, demisexual. What's
Yeah,
that
I'm
one?
somewhere in between. Demi is the feelings.
And then what's the other one you said?
Sapio is mental stimulation. So I like a smart man. And when I say smart, I don't mean he has to be intellectual. He could be a carpenter, but he knows his craft, and that would do.
So you can't have sex with someone until you, or when you feel like an intellectual connection with them, like, or you feel,
intellectual is the wrong word.
or the conversations at a certain level, like your dialogues at a certain level.
Potentially, yes. If I feel like you are not, I can't.
Okay.
Because it'll diminish you in my, in my perception, or it will and that's just not sexy. I don't think so. Sorry, I don't know.
So,
sorry, have I answered Gina's question?
no, you haven't finished.
Jesus.
So he had a name attached to the
female
female
iteration.
Let's
of him.
call her Chadisha.
Should he? So,
But it was a blonde one.
yeah, no, but we
I
had
know,
many
but
wigs, we had many
Chaz, innit?
outfits, we had many pairs of shoes, we had very many different whatever. And sorry.
And you didn't, and you would have sex with him in full female getup.
No, so that one time, I did, and I said to him, "This doesn't work for me. I'm not feeling turned on. I'm literally just performing for you." And he said, "Well, it really means a lot to me."
And that was your first time.
Yeah, that was our first time.
Did you ever label him selfish?
When the marriage ended, and I was going through things with my therapist, she goes, "That was the most selfish."
Because he seemed
Yeah.
very selfish to me.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Like it's all about just him. Like
Yeah,
the first time you
But
ever had sex.
I'm also culpable.
you
I'm
don't have
also
to be.
No,
culpable.
you are.
Yeah.
But I can still call him selfish though because
Yes.
this is the first time you ever had sex. Let's just have regular, I'm about to say anal. Regular, I about to say,
Regular, schmegular,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
vanilla.
But he brings out his most inner desires on you the first time
And
round.
I can, you know what's really bad, and
Again,
maybe
I don't think there's anything wrong with
I can
him telling
empathise
you,
with that. Yeah, and that's
this is
probably
exactly
why
what
I
I
went
want.
ahead,
You
because-
decided that you didn't say that this can't work for me because you're not serving me. He was telling you this is what
he was
does it
catering
for
to
me.
himself. He's like, this is to my core. This is who I am. It was
yeah, no,
self-preservation.
I understand that, but it's still a bit selfish.
No, I hear you.
No,
And,
but then
and just how the
also-
whole relationship transpired with all the other
But then
sexual
the thing
activities
is, it
as
was
well.
for her to in
To
that
say.
point to say because he set the standards
Yeah.
For
She-
himself, and
for
I should have
himself,
said-
and you should upon reflection, obviously, in that moment, you should have been like, "No, this ain't a bit of me. It ain't gonna work."
At
and
all.
then you lot would have figured it out moving forward. But you let him know from the jump. Remember, this is the first time you've had sex, so for him, floodgates. Because the first time is always going to be rattling, regardless.
yeah.
In my opinion, even if it's normal sex, because you've never had
Yeah.
sex with the person, so it's always going to be a bit more awkward or whatever. So if in that moment he's pulled out all the stops and you're staying, he's going to be thinking, "Shit, okay,
It's
well,
all.
like now
Yeah.
anything can run." Do you get what I mean? So
And you can see in my therapy session, for example, when we go back to this thing, it's like, again, Emily, you didn't say what you wanted. You
No, of
almost
course.
don't have that tool in your toolbox to cater to yourself, to put yourself first. And that's one of the reasons that I find myself, burnt out and exhausted so many times, is that I tend to default to other people. And my therapist is like, why? Why aren't you looking after yourself? Why are you looking after your mother, your children, your ex-husband, your friends, your new acquaintance? Why aren't you looking after yourself? What is that about?
So can I ask you to give me two other one of his kinks?
Yusuff ain't letting it go.
Yeah,
No, just because like he's already like I said, give me that, give me this, give me that. Give me
I
that.
told you that I was not convinced that there's
More.
more. So
Okay.
prove me wrong.
There's definitely more, but I think the more I'm thinking about, it kind of goes to more of the disgusting side.
I want you to tell me that afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Right. Okay. So there are things that we didn't necessarily do that he was into. And one of them is, so we would watch this porn, or he would watch it, not necessarily with me, but I have watched some of it. Forced orgasms. Do you know what those are?
No.
No,
Um,
no, you don't.
For someone who's
wait a minute.
you're
So
very versed in.
when you say forced,
Again, I might refer you to a website.
Why do you always go to?
I
go
don't know
there?
if the website.
no,
is still
because
running.
that's
I know.
what's
I
in
know,
my head
know.
when I hear forced
But-
orgasm.
Okay, so obviously, let me paint a picture of how I came to forced orgasms anyway. So there was a website called kink.com based in San Francisco.
I know it well. It's got many different, like sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And kink.com has...
Why do you know it well?
That's why.
I'm a curious guy, right? So when something hits my
Radar.
yeah, I need to
You explore.
I need to basically pull this
To
string to
know.
find out where it
Yeah.
comes from, just for conversation
Yeah.
like this. Yeah.
But before you explain how you got there, what is it? Just to get out of the way.
So kink.com, like he says, is an
No,
online...
not Kink.com.
Oh, forced orgasms.
orgasm, yeah.
So consensual. They're consensual players
Yeah.
is the first thing. Because I think when I said forced, you were like, what is this?
More so him.
Yeah.
No, I know what she's now talking about.
Oh.
It is that she's talking about
Yeah.
kink.com.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's all consensual.
Yeah.
It tends to be the female, although males do play as well. The female will probably be physically bound one way or another.
So tied up.
Yeah.
Hogtied.
Handcuffed.
Yeah, very often
Hogtied,
in very
as in-
in very very uncomfortable
pig.
positions.
Yeah.
Not just a pig. I mean, I don't want to draw a picture. You might have to delete your entire episode if I describe it.
Give
but
it, no, take
No,
me there.
I've this picture of pig tied up
There is
then-
that, but sometimes it's just to have access to her bits. So
Okay,
her
cool.
legs will probably be
Open.
tied up behind her
Oh,
and
wow.
her hands as well.
Okay.
So really you have full access to her bits. So it could be that there is a man making her come repeatedly.
So-
she has no control over when she comes, how she comes, no stop, no ever. Unless she gets to a certain point and then there's a safe word.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But she has no say. On top of being tied,
Shit.
there's probably a bit of pain.
Sound like
Yusuf.
I'm joking.
Yusuf.
What?
I'm joking. No,
his
but-
box is
No,
opening
but the
slowly.
thing is, yeah,
Wet.
people play around with handcuffs in the bedroom, which is not
This
like
is
a mad
I
king.
mean, I
That's
can't
normal.
show you. I don't have.
People
the
get tied up all the time, so you're describing the more extreme version of,
It is
of
extreme,
that.
yeah.
So it's not like to me, it's not. When you said forced orgasm, it just makes it sound like it's crazy. But you're talking about people who getting tied up and have sex. Essentially.
No, listen.
Essentially, people who get tied up and have sex.
Essentially, that is what it is. But there's a power play. It really is power play, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's what it is. And they're either using toys, and it could be like a basic wand or whatever
Yeah.
to make her come repeatedly, or it could be a machine. There was some specifically built machines that would be
Effing
doing-
machines.
Yeah. So she would either have that, so it could be double penetration with clitoral stimulation and, any number with some pain as well. And it's just how much, it's almost as if the people who have set it up have said, how much can we stimulate this person before she breaks?
Damn.
Intense.
That's how extreme it gets.
Yeah, but she can say stop at any time.
No. Well, the thing is, and they would do like a mini interview before. So I don't know, Kaylee would come and they'll be, Kaylee, hi, welcome to a session.
Yeah.
You ready to play? I can't wait to play. That sort of thing. And then they would, she would be like, yeah, I'm ready, let's go. So you're happy to? Yes, I'm happy
Yeah.
to do this. And then they'd go and they'll do this. And your safe word is pineapple? Yeah, it's pineapple. And obviously we don't see the behind the scenes. And I imagine there are breaks. But the
Yeah.
way the viewer sees it, you get about an hour of forced orgasm.
No, but then in my head, then she's trying her hardest not to say her safe word. Then
Yeah.
that's basically the aim. Let me see how long I can bear this for without saying pineapples.
Yeah, but
That's where it becomes forced because you're really trying your hardest not to be like, oh, stop.
Not just exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. And
Because
I don't
otherwise,
think
it's
will
just
never
you
get
getting
to
tied up
hear-
and having sex, essentially.
Yeah. But I think it's made. Brent, help me out. It is made to look. I mean, it is. I think it's extreme.
I think it's painted to seem extreme
Perhaps, yeah.
when it isn't really.
But
It's
this
just
is what it's
you're
doing.
trying to test your limits. It's like a sport or something. Like, you know what I mean?
It's hard to do. I can't imagine that it's an easy thing to do.
No,
Yeah.
But he was into that.
Yeah. So that was one. Watching it at least.
But you said no. All right. So you did say what you wouldn't do, right?
I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Hold on.
one
Any more?
example.
Okay. So there was that forced orgasms. There was. I think a lot of the other stuff was he was not really as into it as the ones that
Yeah.
he was into. So there was a particular porn star, Belladonna, who Belladonna.
Yeah, I've come across her work.
Wait, that was so funny.
No, Brent, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
I've come across her work.
Yeah, Belladonna. We love Belladonna. Do you know what's to go?
I think she retired now, to be honest. Yeah,
Belladonna.
she put a stint in, to be honest. And
Yeah,
she
she did very well.
She committed to her
Yeah,
rules.
she really, really did. And across the board, actually, I enjoyed Belladonna too. I liked Belladonna. And some of her stuff, she used to do latex play. Some of her stuff was latex play. And that was pretty cool. And actually, Chad did try out some latex play. So we bought the getup and
The suit with
the latex
mask
and the
on that.
rubber. Yeah, not a full gimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the
that's the word.
latex.
Gimp.
Yeah. And yeah, so, but again, I think more than anything, he was curious about things.
Yeah.
So he would see something, maybe he's watched something, it's turned him on, and he's like, could we try this, babe? I'm like, what was that? And he's like, it's this, and whatever. I'm like, let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. So latex
I
is one
still
of those-
think that is not wilder than getting
No,
a
it's
penis
not.
up your bum bum.
The three
I find that so like,
prior things we've discussed
You think
are
pegging
more
is
wilder.
yeah.
Let
me tell you-
Yeah, because obviously you're in your bag as well. That's why.
No, but let me tell you something, right? And I was having.
Did it turn you on?
No. So after the episode with Gloria, I had so many DMs and calls from people who were like, Emily, how can she talk about you guys like
I
that?
swear.
Oh yeah. So many people were upset for me and for him
Mad thing.
and upset with you
Oh,
guys.
wait a minute.
Instead of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Break-
Wait a minute. I swear I was the one who said, let's not basically run this like that because she's not here
not
to
here.
defend herself.
Yeah, you did.
I was
you did
saying
say
that. At the beginning,
To
she's
my
everybody's
mind,
not
I'm
here to
pretty
defend
sure
herself.
everybody. I thought everybody said a bit of like,
Okay.
restructure your.
Yeah.
But
But I
people-
love how they're defending you. And
Yeah, people heard.
Gloria needs to hear
different
about
things.
this.
Yeah.
She needs to hear about this.
Yeah, sure.
Disgusting.
And I said, at first, when I heard what she said, I was like, oh, okay. But then the outrage started pouring in. And I was like,
Oh, wow,
is
okay.
it that bad? And I'd had
She
another
called it
listen.
outrage.
There was a lot of outrage.
Oh, was it?
Lots of outrage. People were very upset with Gloria.
You got listeners then, innit?
Yo, dickhead.
They ain't on Twitter and but you got listeners.
Yeah, what
was
happened?
in my
People don't,
Silence.
people don't really tweet
Yo,
anymore.
tweet, yo.
They don't.
They
Tweet,
don't
yo.
tweet at all. I always check it.
For some reason, the tweets just kind of stopped.
I check it every week. And I'm like, oh, one tweet, okay. From like
Oh, really?
From like 7 days ago. Okay.
Retweet.
I'm gonna come back next week. Listen, I check every week, and I'm like, oh, maybe not this
Outrage,
episode.
you know?
Yeah.
This guy is sick.
And
Sorry,
eventually I had conversations with people about it. And I think they asked Emily, what was your opinion? My opinion was basically, I can't be really upset with Gloria because what I see is someone speaking from her,
Good cultural understanding.
not just cultural understanding, that is the limit of her thinking, if that makes sense. Genuinely, it is, because I think somebody asked her something and she said, I know. I just know.
Oh, I asked her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought she's not even curious about it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
She's so grounded, so she's vehemently saying what she's saying, even though she cannot even explain it.
Yeah.
And I thought, who was I DMing about Gloria? And I was saying,
I
I'm
think
not.
it was me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
And I was saying I couldn't have the conversation
Yeah,
with
yeah,
her.
it was me.
I couldn't because it would be like teaching
not
algebra
op-
to a baby or
she's not
something.
open-minded.
She's just not open to it.
Speaking to a brick wall.
Yeah, she's just not open. So I can't be mad at someone like that. I said that I suppose the disappointing thing for me is the lack of curiosity, not even on this subject. I just think as a human being, if you can accept that the world is so vast and so glorious and so, I mean, we can't even fathom how much more there is out there. To not have a curiosity about that is grossly disappointing.
The thing is, when Gloria
And
was,
that's what I thought.
when she was talking, I wasn't taking her seriously because she said, because I asked her if it was me, would she diagnose me as being mental?
Yeah.
And she said no.
Yeah.
So why not me? Because I'm black and you know me.
Now, hold
Or
on.
because you know me. Well, that was, so I thought,
Just hold that thought.
that's when I knew your
Yeah.
argument is just, it's dead.
Just
Makes
hold
no
that
sense.
thought. So I have a friend, a white friend, who dates lots of black men.
Yeah.
Some of them, I'm pretty sure you know. Maybe even you too.
Oh, wow.
I say date, sleeps with.
Drop some names if you want. Not on the pod, but to me personally.
Yeah. And the realm of kink that they engage in with her, mostly because they feel they can't do this with black women, would blow your mind.
I saw what he was coming to do. You said from long time. Can I just say, I saw him from long time. When he said drop some names,
then
he
he did
didn't
it.
mean later on. He said, let me open up my notes.
Yeah.
Give me your Insta. It'll be easier on Insta.
Oi.
And I'll give you just the one because I don't know how much I can tell. Range from mother-baby fantasies. Okay, breastfeeding.
Tell me which.
What are you talking about? What
Where
are
a guy
you
went
talking
text
A guy
about?
wanting to be breastfed.
Yeah.
But you have to tell me what he's done though.
Okay, this thing that I'm talking about now.
And I can laugh openly.
I don't know if you know him. Let me see.
I may not.
I know he's friends with.
Let me see.
Oh, I don't know him. Clapping it out, of course you are.
Yeah. Oh shit! Kill me.
I'm aware of him. I don't know him, but I'm aware of him.
Yeah, you're gonna remove all this, right?
No, remove.
What?
Kill me, please.
All right, because I don't really know him. Give me someone else.
yeah. No. That's
You've
all you're
started
getting,
already.
Yusuff.
Now he's curious.
Have
You
I?
just
one
lambasted
that I
Gloria
know.
for not being curious
Give me
enough.
one-
He's
give me-
now being
give me
curious.
one
No,
that I know.
he's not curious about the activity. He's curious about the person. He wants to have one on this person.
Well,
No,
he needs to be
no,
curious.
I don't
You
wanna-
told him.
no.
It's your fault.
What I want to do is laugh or just react so the listeners can hear
I'm
my
going to tell you
reaction.
the person, but I'm not going to tell you
Tell
what
the
the
kink.
person is.
Can
Fair
you
enough.
Yeah.
imagine?
Fair enough.
That's not even fair enough. I don't know why you're stopping there.
It's true.
Because your mind's gonna race now.
You knew.
One, I'm not surprised.
Let me see.
This nigga, I'm
Let
not
me see. Let
surprised.
me see.
I ain't surprised. My nigga, I ain't surprised. You know who this person is very well.
She didn't quite see it.
You know who this person is
No,
very
Gina,
well.
you must know that person.
No, she's probably seen him, but no.
Oh, okay.
When you see it, you're gonna.
Brent
you're
will
gonna
know
like-
him, yeah.
No, you know him.
Yeah.
You know him. You know
Yeah.
him.
No idea.
Yeah, she had no idea who it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys are not surprised.
Yeah, I ain't surprised.
Why though?
Because this guy, he's about that kind of.
Oh,
He's
is
about,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Is he like that openly with you guys? This is I'm segueing, but
Yeah.
is he like that openly with you guys? So you know this about him? Is it because he said things, shared
The thing
experiences?
is, I don't know the extent of what he's done
Yeah,
with
you
your
haven't
friends,
said anything,
but I just know he's open-minded.
Okay.
very liberal.
There was even a joke we had about him, man, because he was like, we were talking about like different races we've been with, innit? And he's explored a plethora of different races and cultures. So there was a running joke we had, but I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, no, I'm not surprised about him at all.
I know his particulars, as they say in Uganda.
Give me one, please. Just
I don't even
come
think
on.
it's wild, to be honest. You're going on like it's wild, but for him, it's probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I can't say because
It's not in. It's not in.
No, okay, no,
No, it isn't.
I'm not telling you his stuff. I'm going back to the other guy, and that many other things that
Yeah.
have come up.
So you said the breastfeeding.
There was the breastfeeding, mummying fantasy.
Yeah.
There is a lot of anal play, of pegging, and I said this because somebody said pegging and black people and black men love.
All right,
love,
just tell
love
me-
anal play.
No, you're not saying that's pegging with him.
No, this guy.
I'm just saying that my friend who has these experiences also has these other.
Hold on, is she
experiences.
one girl doing it for all these guys?
Yeah. And the thing is, I've heard
She's
This-
a mother hen, bro.
in this
She's
particular room, your friend.
Yes.
Yeah. Your name isn't just because of what you've been.
It's
It's also by association. Yeah. So
Sadly.
I'm interested in what
Hold on.
he's into.
I'm not
what,
telling you.
what friend is this of yours then?
Oh, okay, clap, please. Please.
Yeah.
Yusuff, why did you? I was saying about Chad, and I think the question was kind of like, Emily, why or how is it okay for you to be in a long-term relationship, sexual as well, with this person? I think I feel a lot of compassion towards him just as a human being. I don't think that.
Gloria, that's what you were talking about.
That's
Don't try
right.
that. You were getting to Gloria.
That's it.
And you said you got a bit outraged.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was it.
Well,
That was
well
it.
done, Brent. Well done.
Yeah, skipping that one. Sorry.
Yeah, let me finish Chad. So I think that anybody that has that element of them and can openly share that with somebody deserves compassion.
Yes, and Darren.
I really, really think they do. And so, like when Gina's asking, but Emily, how could you the first time? How could you stay? Part of it is not the entire thing, but part of it is just basic compassion for another human being.
And you liked it.
Not necessarily like
No, but you said you liked the pegging.
What she like the
No.
what?
I mean, sorry,
Did she?
the hot wife and you.
I like. Yes, I like. That was the one thing I liked. But
No,
but also,
The-
hot wifing didn't happen on a regular basis.
the
You said
pegging you said you didn't really see it as a big deal.
no. it
So,
wasn't a big
cool.
deal.
So that means the only thing that was major to you was the dressing up.
In a negative way, or
No, not negative way. Major as in this is something that I really got to think about, or this is something that may be a deal breaker.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the only thing that was out of the box for me.
Yeah.
Quite massive curiosity about that.
Yeah.
But no, going back to him and how and why, it really, and I've learned this through my various sessions, is that it's just from any human being, it could have been somebody else and it
Yeah.
could have been a different scenario. I still feel that everybody deserves compassion
Yeah, of course.
and a measure of empathy.
And
I
there's-
wouldn't necessarily write somebody off because they have this really
Of course
personal,
not.
deep,
Of course
you know.
not. No, and there's nothing wrong with what he asks you to do. That's his own desire.
Mm.
It's more so for you to accept it or not.
Exactly.
So-
Those boundaries are for me to build.
I'm
if
just
at all.
more. My only surprise is that he's got so many different kinks, and they're all like just opposite ends of the spectrum to me. That's
I
that,
haven't.
like
I
his-
haven't
his-
delved into that
his Pandora's box
with
is
him.
vast.
Yeah, and also with it's come up with my therapist because in some ways it was almost a decade of a relationship with somebody else. It's very almost symbiotic in a way. So in some very often I find I have to speak about him in the context of our relationship. But in trying to understand that, where was I going with this? Oh, for fuck's sake, Emily. Say what you said again. So many kings or whatever.
So many kings.
He doesn't understand himself either.
Yeah, he seems like he's not trying to find himself, but he's trying to find out what he likes. Like, let's just try everything and see what sticks.
So he has a deep it's almost like he has a sense of self that he is yet to, bottom down on. Say, this is me, this is...
Yeah.
And he's also looking for a measure of affection in himself. Now, I know, for example, because all our sex goes back to our parents. Basic Freudian theory
How
is...
so?
Are we going into Freud?
And also,
all of that.
Before we go there,
Mm.
if I'm intruding with this question, let me know.
You didn't answer your Gloria thing, by the way.
Do you know?
She'll get back to
do
her.
you know
I'll forget.
if he's been with another man?
He's tried.
I knew it.
Now, he's tried because...
He's trying to find what it is that he's...
That's,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
No,
he's
but
really
I can
trying to find.
I can
he's
tell
picking
that
everything.
next hit.
Yeah.
and a question I was going to ask was, so I don't know how to say this without it
No,
being
it's okay.
insensitive or whatever.
It's okay, Gina.
No, because even people listening, it's like, so I've always thought, that like,
And we know you're listening now.
I've always thought that like people who are like that either started very young or like, because not like you get bored, but like you kind of try everything. And I guess if you do something very, very often, or like, let's say for example, like you've had sex with women, loads of women that you could possibly think of. After a while, it might get a bit boring. And then it's like, okay, cool. How do I take this to the next level? And then you start exploring other avenues and stuff like that. So I'm asking, like, I guess it would be easier to ask him than you, but like, what do you think, or has he explained how he kind of got there? Because the fact that you said, like you said, he's literally trying everything.
Yeah.
And
So this is the thing about his particular proclivities, I think, in the context of him. I've had a conversation with him about when I was saying to him, I'm having these discussions, Instagram Live, whatever, how do you feel about this? Should I stop? Do you not want me to? He's like, you know what? He actually said to me, this might be the opportunity for me to face myself. So he knows that this is part of his almost tailored, engineered journey to himself. So for some people, that happens through sex. For some people, it happens through their careers. For some people, it happens through their relationships. It just so happens that his is through non-vanilla sex. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. Does it?
In trying to find
I
his
believe
nirvana,
that every single
he
human
basically-
being is on a
some
journey
sort
to
of
find
journey.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yes.
some find it via progression at work.
Oh, yeah,
Some via this.
passion or a purpose.
Yeah.
Or it could be any number of things.
Some via
And not very
racism.
many people are cognizant of this thing, that this is what they are
Yeah.
on this earth for. Not very many people are aware of this.
Yeah.
I don't think that Chad has actually clocked
Yeah.
that the reason he partakes of all these proclivities is because it's a surge to
Yeah.
come back to himself.
Yeah.
And the person that he seeks to come back to is almost an inner child. And now I know I sound like a holistic psychologist, but that is really what it is.
Yeah.
All of us are catering to our inner child, and that's where parents come in.
Okay.
Because your parents nurture you. In a way, they put you together. So it's not necessarily a direct mum said do this or dad said do that. Your experience of your childhood is what informs who you become as an adult. And that could be sexually, it could be personality, like myself, my my reluctance to put myself first. It could be all of those things, a combination of your upbringing and your experiences. And that's all it is for me with him. I don't see him as this weird, kinky, freaky. It's not all of him. There's so much more to him and about him. And that is true of every single person. I think we're all layered, complex people. Put us in different environments and we might become a different person.
So if your theory is that everybody is on the search to return to their childhood, right?
And cater to whatever that child needs.
Whatever that child needs. You're saying that when it is that we don't find that, it's us basically fighting our innate. How could it be innate if it's being molded by our parents?
No, I don't think we're fighting it. First of all, you have to be aware of said thing, Brent, right? I don't think very many people are self-aware. Hardly anybody.
But it's a fair thing a lot of times because you don't want to believe that these things is what it is you actually want to actually give yourself, right? Because sometimes it's steeped in negativity or stigma, right?
Or fear.
100%. Because you have people like pedophiles that roam this place, right?
Yeah.
And to them, that's what brings them pleasure.
But not just pleasure. See, because for me, sex isn't just about physical pleasure. And of course, I'm saying this as the demi whatever sexual person. And maybe for some, there is obvious physical pleasure to sex, but I think sex happens in your head as well. And if you care to peel the layers back, there'll be quite a bit there. Not everybody's on it. Not everybody even wants to think about it that way. You would think that the man who's linking repeatedly is not thinking about what's happening in his head. He's just knocking one out and moving on to the next. But I would look at that man and say, do you not have some kind of emotional need that you're not catering to?
So for the man that's knocking it out,
Repeat.
you are saying that he hasn't met the last or final boss yet. And he's trying to
boss as in partner or
no, that last stage where oh my goodness, this has nothing to do with me actually having sex.
And he probably never will, yeah.
So he'll be permanently lost.
I don't know if this should go in or not.
Say it and we'll find out.
Okay. So my father, Gloria is going to have a field day. My dad, there'd be so much to say, but I feel like my dad is one such person. And from what I've learned from his aunties, his cousins, his siblings, wherever, he never got to develop a relationship with his own father, who, for a completely different story, never got to have a relationship with his father. At the time, in the tribe in the kingdom, a woman could have children with whomever she wanted. If her family had said, for example, Emily, you will marry Brent because we need the two families to do X, Y, Z. But I'm in love with Yusuff. I'm like, guys, I will marry Brent because you want me to marry, but I'm in love with Yusuff. I want to have Yusuff's babies. Fine, Emily, have Yusuff's babies. But because this family is being built, your babies will be baby Brents. You will give them that name. The children may or may not get to know that they're actually baby Yusuffs, but they will be raised as baby Brents. So my grandfather was one of the baby Brents. He did later on find out that actually he was a baby Yusuff, and that broke him. So he withdrew. And he withdrew in spite of his station in society. So he had status. And he couldn't father his children. He was not there for he had 3 sons, and he was barely there for them, and my father being one of them. So from what I've learned from people around, my dad really misses his dad. But those are things he cannot articulate. He's 70 now. He will never, ever say that I missed my dad. Through all these 70 years, I've been missing my dad. And he's been what we used to call a runaway dad. My dad's been a runaway dad. He's never wanted to father, to be a present dad. But I don't think, and I don't hold it against him, I don't think that is because he is shunning us. It's because he doesn't know how. He doesn't have that level of, he was never fathered himself. So how is he going to father? Some people are able to get through these things, but I'm just saying in this specific case, that is who my father is. And some of how he dealt with that was womanizing. Right?
The thing is, this sounds like my dad a bit. Not the womanizing part, but my dad's dad died when my dad was 3.
Oh, gosh.
So he never had a father growing up. And I always used to think to myself, trying to dissect mine and his relationships and why he is the way he is and why he treats us or why he parents us the way he does. And I always thought it's because he never had a father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think so. And there's very many factors that could change that for you. So you're very aware of that, and you might choose to follow in his footsteps. So you might say, actually, I don't want to do that. And you'll be very intentional about how you father your children.
I've told myself, even when I was a teenager,
like
me and my mama spoke about it. Like, I don't want to be like my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I want to raise my kids differently. I want to be like this, I want to be like that. So from a very young age, I was very aware that I didn't want to raise my kids or father my children like my dad did us.
And that has informed your, not just that one choice, but the way you move in your linking or your relationships or whatever. And that's what I mean. Our parents really do mold us. So even though he hasn't given you any kind of strict instruction, your experience of being his son has put you where you are now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I think that carries through to more aspects of our lives than we even care to think about. And so going back to Chad, there are things about his upbringing, his experiences that I know have brought him to where he is. He's not yet willing to hold that mirror up and deal with what it actually means. Instead, he is, I don't want to say distracting himself with these things, but he's catering to that question by doing these things. That's how I see it. And I'm pretty sure that if he went to see a therapist or a shrink or whatever, these things would come up. I think with most therapists, when you're talking about yourself and trying to come to yourself, sex is a big question, and you always come back to these things.
Do you understand how committed we meet us after 7 after giving you that dope bloody content? Are you mad?
Is he choking or something?
You dare not tweet appreciation or hate?
You dare not tweet.
They don't tweet, bruv.
That's funny. No,
Let me go back to Gloria, by the way.
Please,
before we
please,
forget.
please.
So I was saying, yes.
Outrage.
So the outrage came, and one of my responses was that that's just where she is mentally, and she's unwilling to,
Gloria's
to
like an
step
auntie,
out
bruv.
there. In fact, I was saying, yes, you guys called her auntie. I get called auntie a lot, perhaps for the right reasons, but she's unwilling to step out. And for me, that was the criminal part. Not so much what she said, but her unwillingness to. And she doesn't have to accept. I'm not saying she has to accept. She merely has to consider, other people, other options, other lifestyles. And then the other thing that was crucial, and I had a very long discussion with somebody who is non-cis hetero, black male. I don't want to say people
what,
like
sorry,
Gloria.
what?
Non-cis
Non-cis.
heterosexual black male.
What's that mean, sorry?
Brent, step in.
I feel ignorant today. I don't know none
All
of
right,
these terms.
so I may get this wrong, so please correct me, right?
You are a cis heterosexual man.
Please
Yes.
tell me what that is as well.
So I'm guessing that is straight,
Yeah, basically.
right? Identified as straight, whatever.
Yeah.
Non-cis is not straight, right?
Okay.
And any of those options. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Non-cis, you said non-cis heterosexual
Yeah.
man, yeah?
Anything.
I'm really confused because I thought if you were heterosexual, you were straight.
Yes.
So
Should we get
What's
the
the
proper
non-cis- no, 'cause
definition?
you're
for that?
saying-
Precisely, that's why I asked.
because
Yeah,
you
let's
said
get
non,
the proper
I thought if you were non,
Because people are listening to this. We don't
you
want
wouldn't
to.
be hetero. Like, what's the non-cis mean then? Because if you're cis, I'm really confused. Sorry.
That's okay, she's going to Google it.
I am, because I don't want to say that. So non-cisgender identity. Cisgender is considered the opposite of transgender. Does that make sense? To start.
No.
So cisgender is
It's
a
us.
straight.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you and I are
Yeah.
cisgender. But some people feel that they identify as neither cisgender nor transgender.
And those are...
Some people identify as non-binary.
I've heard people say non.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yes.
fluid.
Fluid, thank you.
We had
yeah.
someone on our...
So that
Patreon
means they don't
Zooms.
identify strictly as a man
Or a woman, right? So
Exactly.
they're-
mentioned that, isn't it?
It's like Sam Smith, right? Who came out and
Exactly.
said
And I do have somebody.
Sam Smith no longer identifies as
So
Is it?
Sam's pronouns are they.
they. So
Yeah.
he's not a he or a she. He's a they. So he's non-binary.
They are they.
Scroll.
They
yeah.
are the-
Yeah.
Non-binary
Thank you,
sounds so
sorry.
scientific.
Sam Smith is
So that-
binary. It's,
Non-binary.
it's hard to say.
So if you scroll,
just
you'll
takes
see how
practice.
he presents himself.
Yeah.
The more time you
Okay.
practice
So
it, more
makeup,
time-
dresses, but his full beard, his full bodily facial hair, whatever.
Who's that?
This is just an example of somebody who is.
Sorry, he is...
So he
Non-cis.
is non-cis. He's also
They
non-binary.
are.
They are, sorry, they
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I get it.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
I can
You
dig
just
it.
scroll. So yes, I was having a conversation with this person, and he was explaining, and I understood, and I'm glad he brought it to the fore because it was something I knew, but nothing I'd really articulated before. That the reason my person, for example, is the default choice for the black men in the community who want to experiment with these things, who aren't necessarily these things, but want to try it out and figure out where they lie, is because conversations like what you had with Gloria happen. And so they push this curiosity or these proclivities underground. And it's dangerous because it means that you're othering people, but you're also not giving them the space to just be who they are. And there is nothing wrong, I'm doing finger quotes, with being any one of those, identifying as any one of those things on the spectrum. But when you feel like you just cannot be, you are then forced to become a straight heterosexual married with children man, when really
Yeah.
you really fancy some pegging every now and then, and that doesn't make you gay. But what you're gonna do, because everybody else thinks that pegging makes you gay, is go around the corner or wherever it is you can to have some potentially dangerous pegging sex with somebody because you're far too ashamed to just say to your missus, I fancy a little bumhole rub or whatever.
But I find that most women, because in my experience here, a lot of women are curious. Like, they want to play with a man's bumhole.
But black men in particular.
I remember that I had one particular girlfriend. She was obsessed with the idea of playing my bumhole, and I had to tell a big man,
Because-
you need to reduce it. Like she was obsessed. I'm like, stop it, man! Stop touching me there. Like she was probably like trying to.
Why did you have you said stop it, but
Yeah.
you didn't say why.
Because I didn't want to do it.
Did you ask her why she wanted to?
I don't know. We were young. I just can't
Yeah,
remember.
okay,
I just remember
fair
always telling
enough.
her,
Yeah, fair enough.
just calm down, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're too excited about this. So
But that was an opportunity to have that conversation for both of you. Where was her curiosity coming from? Because where is
She
that
had
coming
probably
from?
done it with somebody else.
And the reaction had been
Yeah.
spectacular.
saw how much
Yeah.
excitement it gave to that
Yeah.
guy.
I guess.
And she wanted to basically show you a whole new
Exactly.
A whole new world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then how would you have received that? If say she had said, listen, Yusuff, I want to do this because I've done this before and
Yeah.
trust me.
It's a
Yeah.
bad thing. I would have still said no because at that time I wasn't interested.
Okay, now.
Now, if a girl came to me with the same
Yeah.
proposal,
How would you have that conversation?
I'll
Yeah.
still say the same thing, but it'll be less harsh and less childish. It'll be more so like
It's just not me.
it's just not
Yeah,
me.
it's just not
Whereas
my
when then I was like,
Would you ask her why she wanted to?
You
would just say
probably not. I always assume that girls are just
But then don't you see that in
Kinks.
not having the conversation with her, and I say this as someone who's made these mistakes, you're not catering to her either curiosity or need. She might have a need. It could be, as Keith was saying when we did 3 shots,
Yeah.
she gets off pleasuring you.
Yeah, she does.
And that she's quite keen to give you this extra level of pleasure because she knows from previous experience that it will give you that extra level. So you're
Yeah.
not meeting her own.
No, but the thing is, I'm all about pleasing my partner, innit? And if there's something she wants to do, most times I'll do it. But if there's something I don't want to do, I'm not going to do something to my body. Like, for example,
For her,
if
yeah.
she wants me to do something to her body
You're on
that
it.
she wants, I'm on it. But you want to do something to me, but it's for you. But it's
Yes.
to me, but it's on me though.
Yes.
So,
Because
No, don't be
And-
careful where you're going here, Emily, because this whole 10-year thing stems from you basically
and that's why I
catering
said
to him
That's why I
without
said,
saying
as somebody
that's
who
not
has
what I
made
want.
those
He's telling you,
mistakes. Yeah.
I hear that's what you're into, but
Yeah.
I'm not into it.
yeah. And
So-
you want to do
But
this
I want
to
him to
my
have
body.
the conversation. I
Yeah,
really
that's-
just want him to have the
that's
conversation.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it happens again, I'll open up the
Yeah.
forum to have a conversation about this.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah. Have I finished, Gloria? I think those were the points. And also, yes, and then there was also something about just labeling things in a
Black and white.
binary way,
Yeah.
either witchcraft or mental. And she uses, not just her, but many people use the term mental health when really it should be either mental wellness or mental illness, because mental health doesn't mean either one of those things, and yet that's what people
But it's
tend
what
to-
the timeline basically has looked to phrase it like that.
Yeah, for
Mental
some
health.
reason.
That doesn't mean
It
that
doesn't-
it's a bad thing. It's a umbrella topic, and then are you saying
Underneath,
it's
yeah.
your mental health needs
Yeah,
some
exactly.
attention?
Yeah,
Is it an
yeah,
deficit?
It's
You know?
crazy that
'Cause it
mental
could be
health
positive, you know?
has such a negative stigma around it. It's mad.
It's mad, yeah. And when physical, 'cause I think the equivalent of mental health could be physical health. It could be spiritual health.
Yeah.
You know, they're all in the same.
Yeah,
what-
but people
I mean,
say mental health when they mean mental illness, don't
yes,
they?
you're right. You're definitely right with that.
So there was that, and then there was also just because someone, as I was saying, the world is so big and so complex, and just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that it is an illness or that it is wrong. It is
100%.
just something you don't know, and
Yeah.
it's okay to accept that you don't know. I think that's something that many of us are not willing to do. Is just say, I don't know. I don't know, and that's
But
fine.
Could we get you and Gloria in the same room though? Like, do we think that'll be a? You reckon that'll be good?
Oh, 100%.
Comment to have?
Look at you.
No. Because I don't
I
see
think
her
she'd be-
being disrespectful.
She'd be up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wouldn't say no.
but would you be up for it? 'Cause I don't
It's just
think you'd be
whether
up for it.
Emily's.
The thing is, I don't know if I have the energy
Yeah.
for it.
Ooh,
If-
okay.
because if she is,
But you'll have two people basically looking to bully her. You, me.
no, I don't want to bully her.
Okay, go.
I don't want to
Just me
bully
then,
her.
okay.
Yeah, I really don't want to bully her. Nor do I want to change her mind, if that makes sense.
Why?
Because she needs to come to that place by herself.
You
But
see,
she may never.
and
Then
this is
that's
it.
on her. That's going to be her life experience.
If after she agrees to the conversation and
Mm.
hearing the conversation, she still sticks with what, then cool. You can then say, all right.
Is it worth the
Keep-
energy
keep
for
your
me to
mind.
do that? Given what
Yeah,
I know about her
I
attitude.
hear this whole argument that I've tried enough. I'm divesting from men.
Don't put that one on me. Do not put that one on me. Divesting from men.
I've done been telling you day in, day out, day in. You've done been getting this information from all these other women. I'm done.
So I'm not. Okay.
Do your own homework, yeah?
Yes.
Do your own research.
Same applies to race, but yes.
So that's what I'm kind of hearing you saying for her, right?
And I'm only saying it. Because I feel she was adamant about her position. Because
until Yusuff jumped in and said, well, what if I was? And she's like, well, you're my virgin, so meh.
Basically.
So that tells me that she hasn't given much thought to the things she's saying. And can I have meaningful discourse with someone who doesn't think through the things they say?
No, what I think happened, and I saw it happen, is that she said what she said. She didn't understand what it actually meant until I put it to her. And then she's like, well, I'm a move of her because I'm Gloria and I don't track back. I believe that if it is that you sit her down and have a proper conversation with her and walk through the process, she wouldn't be as blasé as she would be.
In the moment, she got lost in the moment.
Yeah, she was just podding.
Okay.
Yeah,
she was just podding.
I think so.
But it's so interesting that you got outrage off the back of that.
I did.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
And there was also the issue of black people just smacking things on white people because they are white.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can't just say that, oh, that's a white people thing. I mean, we can joke about it, but here we are talking about mental illness, sexual preferences. You say, oh, that's a white thing.
Yeah.
That is not.
Yeah. I can kind of see what the person on the other end was thinking because they were black. Yeah. And yet, I'm not white, but yet I'm interested in this kind of stuff. So what you actually saying, this is cancerous.
Where does that leave that person? Exactly. Where does that leave that black man who wants XYZ? Yeah. If you're just saying, well, that's white. Well, who am I then? What is this?
This is
It doesn't allow for that.
Is sad.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't understand that people are listening and a lot of them are actually silent. Yeah. And we're doing damage without knowing it. Exactly. Do you understand? Exactly. So it's good that now we know to never have Gloria in the podcast. No.
She's going to kill you.
Yeah, Gloria has to listen to this episode.
No, I have the presence of mind when things happen. I'll be like, bear in mind, there might be somebody listening. Do you understand? That represents or is in that particular pool of.
So the backlash you got about us, was it more so that why did you let this conversation come out?
Yeah, it was why did you not necessarily check her, but steer the conversation in a way that was mindful of your listeners.
Okay. Yeah, we're ignorant sometimes, to be honest.
I think what I said was that when you're podding, you forget your listenership, don't you? Because you're not that intentional with it.
You really forget there's people
because we're actually having a conversation.
Yeah. So you're not out to...
And that's why it's good if we get feedback.
Yeah.
Tweet.
Yeah.
Even sometimes I'll be out and the listener will approach me and they'll mention something on the pod. I'm like, "Raw, you actually heard that?" Like, duh! Of course they heard it.
Exactly. So maybe that's something for you to, in terms of feedback.
I'm always open to be corrected.
Yeah, it's to be
honest.
I don't think that a podcast works if you're very rigid about what you say because you're thinking about your listenership. But there is almost a duty of care to your listenership when certain things do come up.
Yeah, put it to us. That's if it is that we meant what we said, we will say, well, I meant what I said. But if it is we're open to knowing full well you've heard and that wasn't our intent, then we walk it back and say, oh yeah, we could have been more open then, we could have been more mindful. And then you kind of move on from there. Yeah. But if it is that we're not told, then we let Gloria back in, you know?
Gloria's coming carries on.
To be fair, because
in this Gloria narrative, please. Because she's not
come
here.
back and talk to me, Glows.
On the timeline, I think I only saw 2 negative tweets.
Yeah,
about,
that's it. But people didn't tweet or engage in the...
Yeah, and one of them was from a regular tweeter who always seems to tweet negative stuff anyway.
Oh.
So,
is it always
you again.
tweets negative stuff on
You again.
Oh dear.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was quite the experience. And it actually made me sit down and think, oh, Emily, have you just sort of said too much, you know? And I questioned whether I should have said any of these things at all. But then I went back, for example, to the conversations I've had with Chad. Jesus. Help me. The conversations with Chad about what it is I'm saying and doing. Why am I saying and doing these things? And when I ask myself that question, it really is to allow for, and even though I'm not cognizant or I'm not very intentional with this at the time, is to allow for the people that end up in my DMs to be like, oh, actually, there is someone like this, you know, who has experienced these things. It's not odd that So, for example, some of the DMs I've had on the back of the 3 Shots episode, somebody who is not too far out from your circle, who is interested in some of the things I discussed, and who has had some of those experiences in his past, but has not allowed himself to do it again because of this stigma. And yet he really would like to.
Okay.
Right? So I've had this conversation with him and I was like, oh, you, okay. But, you know, we've had a good back and forth lengthily about, you know, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. And I just find that more and more people are now comfortable coming to me to ask me about these things. Not that I'm the oracle, but it's just a safer space for them to discuss these things. I've had someone come and ask me about being a dominatrix, you know, because even though I wasn't a dom per se, she's like, I actually enjoy being dominant in the bedroom, and I want to become a dominatrix because in her personal space, there isn't quite enough room for that. But if she can do it and even make money off it, she's like, where do I start? So we had that conversation. And so I can't feel bad or regret or whatever over having these conversations on these platforms because I can see what it is doing for, even if it's 1, 2, 3 people, there is something there. That's the value in it. But yeah.
That's why I said when everything's up and running with the project, I need for you to have a platform because what you're actually giving to the masses, especially our community, is so bloody vital. So bloody vital. And far be it for me to basically use your experiences. But you've been talking about it, so...
Yes, I have. No, I have. And I have for quite some time, actually. Like, from the beginning of lockdown, like I say, when I started doing these tiny lives with just like, I don't know, 15, 20 people in these things often came up. And yeah, it's fine. I'm happy to talk about everything, pegging, fisting,
but that's not
whatever.
I just want you for
I know what I mean.
Because there people are going to be wanting to call in and basically get your...
Actually, you know, we should talk about that, Brent, because again, on the back of either 3 Shots or Taser's Live with Paul, I've had conversations.
The provider.
Toronto, New York, Dubai, Jamaica, Nigeria, Uganda. People just DMing me. Just saying, Emily, you said this, and now can I tell you
this is it?
You know, or can you help me with this?
This is it. I told you already. I've already got the strap line. That's the strap line.
And can
you remember the strap line?
Yes, something about being a civilian.
Yeah, come to me for advice. I'm just a civilian. I'm telling you, beautiful.
Yeah, and I have questioned my quote unquote authority. Who am I to tell you X, Y, Z?
You're a human being.
Yeah,
with experiences.
Yeah, that's true. And somebody else said to me, Emily, the advantage you have over, say, a therapist is that you feel like a big sister. You know, you feel more approachable to us. Because you've done these things, you're not going to judge us. We know that. And you're Black African, so we have that shared identifier. And it's just easier. It's just easier to talk to you. So there's quite a lot going on there, really.
And therapy just doesn't happen in that formal one-on-one type thing.
I don't know. So there is actually, what I have learned from all this is that there is a space somewhere in the middle of having therapy and not having any therapy at all, or not going to church or your family elders or whatever. There's that space there that is not filled. And that's where I seem to be right now. But I feel responsible. As I said, duty of care. How? That is one of the things that rattles me. If I say to you, yeah, go talk to you, whatever, about whatever, and it goes all wrong, you know. So I often start out by saying, I am not some
there we
sort
go.
of expert.
Disclaimers.
Yeah. I throw in hella disclaimers. I ask people about their own mental health and if they can reassure me that they are
sound mind.
Okay, of sound mind, not about to do any damage to themselves or those around them. And then I ask them if they genuinely consent, because what has tended to happen is that a husband will say, oh, my wife and I are not okay about X, Y, Z, and I want us to do X, Y, Z. I'm putting her on the call now, you know, and then she's added to the call. And I'm like, yeah, but you've put her on the call, but does she want to be here? You want to have that conversation, but does she want to? And very often they're like, yeah, but it's okay. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to have a discussion with you until you can convince me that you genuinely want to be here.
Can you imagine?
Charging these folks by the hour,
wait a
bro.
minute. So this is an example of what has happened. Wahi,
Yes, it is.
Boy.
More than once.
But you got to start charging them, you know.
No.
That conversation has come up as
Can't
well.
just be calling my phone
You
and,
just start immediately because
adding your wife to the call and that. Nah, bruv.
Yeah.
once is you have a platform, you. I'm not saying you should just benefit from it, but come on, you still have to basically look after
No,
yourself.
of course you have
I
to.
do.
Especially you're on your own journey, looking to,
Yeah, that's true.
and you need to be as comfortable as possible.
Come and just giving up bare free
Emily.
time.
So what I say,
Assertiveness.
100%.
I'll tell you what I'm doing because of the sort of what I say to people is I'll give you 1 hour free. Come to me with whatever for 1 hour free. Be certain that you want to come, and in that hour we'll explore what I feel are the basics of the situation you present with me. If after that hour you feel that there is more to be gained, then I will ask you to sign up for more and
100%.
possibly even pay upfront.
£200 an hour.
People have offered. I often ask people, how much do you want to pay?
Yeah.
That's what I say. How much do you want to pay?
And they said what?
I'm not telling
No,
you.
give me one example. I'm trying to feel the market right now.
Somebody, okay, I would say $100 an hour.
Jeez.
And I'm like, if you want to do $100 an hour, then that's fine. And pay for at least 4-6 sessions. There's
Yeah.
no point in us
Yeah,
having
yeah.
one conversation, then I send you back into the woods.
Yeah.
Let's do 4, 5, 6 sections, pay up front to pay 50%, 60%, whatever,
Yeah.
and then I lock you in for
Okay.
those
So
conversations.
is this something you might do as a job now, as a extracurricular activity, profession?
It would be on the side. I mean, I'm actually doing a bit of a qualification on
Okay.
sex and relationship coaching.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to go. I'll see where it goes. Brent has a thing for me. So.
Oh, 120%. 120%.
So we'll see where that goes. I was supposed to be having a conversation with another expert in the field, but I haven't seen him yet. I don't know. We'll see. He knows who he is. If you're listening, he doesn't listen to podcasts actually, even though he's a podcaster himself. Taser.
Oh, is that right?
You should know this. You should know this.
100%.
Yes.
Because as soon as I told you, I told him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my goodness, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So we had
100%.
that initial conversation, and then we just he's busy, and she's going to tell me assertiveness.
No, it doesn't matter. Once I've said something, I don't kind of make myself busy. This is what's going to happen. I'm not flipping,
It's
fluffing.
on.
Okay.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yusuff says, spud me.
100%. yeah.
A blunt, spud me.
Bloody fantastic, man.
Showing my age.
No, so good, so good, so good. All right, cool.
Is everything all good now?
Yeah, she's coming at 5.
5?
Yeah.
Hey, what? Who?
Oh.
Who? Yeah.
No, not a guest. No,
Oh.
someone's recording after
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So.
I wanted to
time-wise.
bring up, I don't know if you want to talk about the Bill Cosby situation.
You know
Considering
what?
this
I can't
this
deal with
episode
it.
is going to come out next week
Technicality, no?
Sunday. What do you mean?
He's out on a technicality.
Yep.
As in, what's the actual...
He
specifics?
guilty, and lawfully he bust case because apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, please, Emily. The prosecution made a deal with him to be honest in civil court and promised that the information he shared in civil court won't be used in a criminal case. And they went against that.
Someone.
They broke that promise
Broke
and they
agreement,
used that same
yeah.
information
Yeah.
in a criminal court.
Okay,
And then he got convicted rightfully.
yeah.
And then he got jailed. And then now they've put it back in front of a different judge. And then the judge said, yeah, you actually did lie. And you can't lawfully hold this man anymore because you that was not part of the contract.
That is a definition of a technicality. Bro.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're hearing people online saying, "Yay," so nigga's still guilty.
Yeah.
He is.
He's supposed to still be in jail.
No, but who's celebrating that he's come out?
Felicia Rashad.
Yeah,
Who's that?
Very disappointingly.
and a lot
Who's
of
that?
men also.
Mrs. Cosby on
Okay.
the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, his wife, yeah, but you got...
No way.
No, I get it, but you get it. I mean,
No, I don't. I don't actually. Felicia Rashad, I think I have perceived her as this good woman, quote unquote. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't actually know if she has, for the duration of the Bill Cosby issue, been supporting him. But he's even admitted to a number of these things, right? How is she now saying, "Oh, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, he's out of jail"? He is the perpetrator of some horrendous
Obviously,
crimes.
no, I get it. I think obviously because they've got their relationship in it, their history. She just has a connection to him, I guess. Innit?
I see what you're saying.
That's her brother. That's her.
Yeah. But
her
Gina, would you
on-screen
stand by
her
Yusuff
on-screen
if he was
husband.
Cosby?
Do you know what I was saying? I was saying before, it's such an awkward one, yeah, because if someone's like your relative, I feel like if it was my relative or if it was like my son or my papa, like relative, I don't think, even if their crime was extremely horrendous, I don't think I'd be able to just cut them off. Personally.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I would.
That's like Nicki Minaj and her brother, innit?
That's
Yeah,
exactly
like
what I thought.
I get it.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd be able to cut them off. Even if they weren't my relative and it was someone like Yusuff,
yeah.
I don't think I would be able to, personally. But I'm not against people that...
I think it depends on what the crime was.
Yeah, and it's
I
and it's
mean,
all-
Nikki's
and it's-
brother
and
is
it's
a
all easy.
paedophile,
It's
right?
all easy for me
Yeah.
to say until I'm in that situation.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So honestly, I don't know.
There's certain crimes, you have to get cut off.
I want to ask something about something, but can we clap it out if it's okay with you guys?
Yeah,
We
no.
can
Because
know
I
what it
think
is
it's
first.
too scandalous.
Go on. We've lost bare pod. Okay.